Welcome to This Week in College Hockey. Tony Scott, Jess Myers, Sydney Wolf, and Ryan Maney on the producer mic. How is everyone doing today?
Pretty good.
I always feel like it's like the old Brady Bunch, and guest starring Ryan Maney at the end.
Yeah, he's like Alice.
Yeah. Time permitting, Ryan Maney.
That's right. That's right.
No offense, Ryan. We love having you.
I'm what do you want to call it? I'm the scaffolding of the
Yeah,
operation.
you're the glue.
You are. You're the glue.
yeah.
You're the glue guy.
Yeah.
You're the glue.
You are definitely a glue guy.
Definitely the glue. I'm still trying to figure out my role. We've now named him podcaster emeritus because he's got all the old school stories.
Okay. Yep.
31 Frozen Fours. Just added it up. I thought it was 32.
31?
It's 31. I covered
And
31.
you didn't go last year.
Didn't go last year, not going this year. And I got to say,
21 Minnesotans.
I'm having
we got a case.
I'm
I'll
having
go.
some serious FOMO that I'm not going to be in Vegas because
Really?
this is a great tournament field.
Yeah.
And
it's-
Vegas is going to be first time host. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
You know, you're going to have a lot of North Dakota fans that travel. You're going to have a lot of Wisconsin fans that travel. Michigan fans, I don't know. They might be spending all their
okay.
money in Indianapolis at basketball, whatever. So I don't know if they'll
I think
travel.
they're two different
And
types
then
of fans.
I've heard, on good authority, all 23 traveling Denver fans will be there. So
I've heard that too.
Wow.
And they're banned.
that
Oh,
was
wait,
a shot,
no
by the
band.
way, just so you know. Yeah, they are.
No, they're not bringing their band.
They don't have a band.
They have a band. They're too
Colorado
Yeah.
College actually takes it up a notch from that. Colorado College not only doesn't have a band, they don't have a school song.
Stop
Oh.
it.
Absolutely true story. Colorado College does not have a school song.
Wow.
They play,
That's embarrassing.
and I know this from a friend who worked at Colorado College. They said, what do you want us to play on the PA when your team comes out? They usually play Rocky Mountain Way.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Not high.
Or Rocky Mountain High. One of those,
Okay.
kind of a mountain theme song, but they do not have a school song nor band. Denver at least has a school song, but nobody to play it.
That is pathetic. Does Air Force have a band?
Air Force has a band.
Do they?
And they have a great school song, Up We Go into the Wild Blue Yonder.
Yeah, they would
Fantastic.
have a band. They would have a band for their
Yeah,
football
oh, yeah,
team and their
absolutely.
basketball team. Yeah, they would have a band.
Yeah. And the great thing about the Air Force band, trained killers.
They are. They are definitely trained killers.
Yeah.
Speaking of traveling to Vegas, have you guys seen the prices of the flights from Grand Forks to Vegas?
Oh,
I heard they're
I bet
notable.
high.
$2,263.
Round trip?
Yep.
No.
The bad part about that with the round trip flight is it will take you back to Grand Forks.
That's
the only bad part.
Hey-oh! I said it.
the way. The weekend after is about 500.
Jeez.
Man,
Again, I don't feel bad for these people.
No.
Shouldn't they just get like 10 more flights ready for the
You would
weekend?
think.
A bunch
You'd
more
think.
money.
We know
Yeah,
Ralph would have had.
that's a good problem to have. It's expensive to go watch my team in the Frozen Four. I mean,
Right.
it's only 4 fan bases in
If
America that
Ralph
can say
were
that.
still in his prime, there would have been some cheap flights and full rooms in his casino.
The old Imperial Palace,
packed.
legendary place on the Strip.
Found some for
Packed.
1,200. They're a little bit of a red eye, but you can get down there and back for 1,200.
For people who don't know, since I'm the storyteller, Ralph
Here we
Engelstad,
go. Here we go. Here we go.
Thief River Falls, Minnesota,
Yep.
goalie for the then Fighting Sioux back in the 1950s when it was
Yep.
a new formative program. Didn't play much. Wore number 23, goalie who
Ooh,
wore
I like
23,
that. I
oddly.
like that.
Got his business degree from the University of North Dakota. Moved out to a little boomtown in the Nevada desert and started a construction company building casinos and the like.
Stop it.
Then he became a casino owner himself, owned the Imperial Palace, and made his fortune, as they say. And late in his life, gave back hundreds of millions to his alma mater and to his hometown. That's why we have very nice arenas in Thief River Falls and
Yep.
in Grand Forks,
Yep.
known as Ralph Engelstad Arena.
Isn't there a little bit of a casino flair to the
Absolutely.
Both.
would you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Both.
Very Vegas feel to it. A lot
Yeah.
of big
Marble
mirrors,
floor.
a lot of marble, a lot of, yeah, absolutely.
You walk into the Little Ralph, the
I've never been to either.
entryway is like, wow, this is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Very, very
My
nice.
my late mother, who loved design and those kinds of things, first time she went to Ralph Engelstad Arena in Grand Forks, she said it's like being in, Caesar's Palace or someplace like that. I mean, a very, very
a little bit of that.
Las
for
Vegas
sure.
feel to it. So, so Ralph Engelstad, God rest his soul, controversial, because
Very controversial, yeah.
he was militantly insistent that they keep the Fighting Sioux nickname, and
That would not be considered controversial. I believe his beliefs are infatuation with Hitler would have been
He
more
he
controversial.
did collect
Dude.
Nazi memorabilia and
which is just odd.
yeah, and allegedly, was an admirer of Nazism or something like that.
It's just weird.
I'm not going to speak ill of someone who's not here anymore, but controversial.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Well, I don't know if it's being ill, but I think it's weird. I just thought it was weird.
Yeah.
And one more, as we're on the Ralph topic, I've heard that many of, not the only reason, but many people, he had deals where people from North Dakota would fly from Grand Forks and Fargo to
I remember
his casino.
going to games in Grand Forks, North Dakota games, in the early 90s, and you'd open up their program, and there would be several ads for the Imperial Palace Hotel and Casino and, travel deals and, special. Yeah, it was Grand Forks West, basically.
Correct. That's all I'm going to say.
When you got to the Imperial Palace. So, yeah, there was definitely a connection there.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
Yep.
All right. I don't know how we got to that, but thank you, Jess. Back to hockey. Sydney Wolf.
Okay.
What's going on in St. Cloud?
Yeah, well,
I feel like there's no one reporting on St. Cloud.
Our St. Cloud Bureau.
Yes.
Sydney Wolf in our
What
St.
is
Cloud
going
Bureau.
on? Are you the only one reporting on it?
Yeah, it kind of feels like that the last 2 weeks. I feel like I've been looking for, the usual people to be reporting, and just nobody.
Are you saying Tony and Jess? Or are you looking for others?
No, just nobody really in general online has been doing that much digging, or maybe they're digging in the wrong places. I don't know. But I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna hit up the phones last week. I'm just gonna do it. Let's just do it. I don't care.
This is why we pay Sydney the big bucks. It's because she works the phones, she works her connections.
I just don't think it's worth.
People talk to her.
I just don't think it's worth it. I think that Nick Oliver is their next coach. So why are we digging?
No, I think so. But I wanted to know more about who applied, because I always think that's very interesting to see who's throwing their name in the ring a little bit.
Sure.
And just kind of the situation, because there's a couple interesting things. So we all know, like, obviously Nick Oliver seems like he's the guy, but some things that came up last week is that, some guys that originally were reached out to ended up declining because the current assistants are going to be, well, it sounds like it wasn't, 100%, but the school obviously was heavily preferring that they would stay on board for next year because their contracts already renewed, so they'd have to get bought out essentially. I'm sure all that stuff probably happened before they knew Brett was leaving, so probably just assumed everything's all good. So that was, I know, kind of a deal breaker for a couple people that may have been possibly interested. I'm not sure, but that was one kind of interesting thing about the search. And there was a couple kind of front-runner candidates, but the St. Cloud State president went on the record to say that they had 7 interviews. They didn't ever say finalists, so I'm not sure if this is 7 finalists or they just interviewed 7 people. But not surprising, Nick Oliver, Jason Herder, we already mentioned, Travis Winter from Bemidji State, not surprising, he's a St. Cloud guy originally. Brett Skinner with the Fargo Force, Ben Simon, who that was a scoop from Mike McMahon. I wasn't really familiar with him. He's an Iowa Wild guy. And then both assistant coaches. So nobody's
That's
super
8
surprising.
then, isn't it?
Who are the assistant coaches?
1, 2, 3, 4,
Eric
5,
Rude
6,
is.
7.
No, that's
Yeah.
Who are the assistant coaches?
Enga, RJ Enga.
RJ Enga and Eric Rude. Both of whom played
So
at
that
Colorado
was
College,
one of
interestingly enough.
People, I was hearing from people that it sounds like they were pretty high, obviously, on Nick Oliver, Jason Herder, Brett Skinner, and Travis Winter. So I don't know if the 7 guys, they considered them all finalists or what. But it kind of seems like, obviously, tiers, Nick Oliver was 1, Jason Herder maybe 2, but Schloss, I believe, reported that he kind of withdrew himself from the search.
He
so
had
not
a
sure.
he had a brisket he was cooking and he couldn't leave that. So.
Yeah, he was like grilling.
A couple hours into it.
That's a beef tips he was working on.
That's a joke. I love Jason Herder, but if you follow him on social media,
Oh my gosh,
he is not only a brilliant hockey coach, he is an unbelievable chef.
Yep.
And he does the backyard videos of him like doing the rubbing down the brisket and putting it on the smoker.
He's
and oh my
prepping.
goodness. So
Yeah.
the
Looks good.
fear with Jason Herder is your team's, each player's going to gain like 30 pounds if you hire him.
just
It looks good.
amazing stuff.
I've got some maple syrup that Jason Herder gave me that's in, that I use. Oh,
He's
just
a good
We have
dude.
homemade maple syrup at my house if anyone needs any.
he's a food guy. Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
he's a good dude.
But that was kind of the, I guess, main candidates. And since last week, I was kind of trying to talk to all these different people because props to the athletic staff at St. Cloud. They are not leaking anything. They have been locked down. So props to them. I've been getting all this info from people that know the candidates or from like player advisors that have guys on the team. So the athletic department not leaking anything. Very locked down.
Couple factors at play here with Nick Oliver. Number one, he's an assistant coach at the University of Wisconsin. They're going to that aforementioned Frozen Four that we talked about. Mm-hmm. So I can see if they're going to hold off on announcing anything for another week just because he's busy right now.
Or less than a week. What if they lose on Thursday?
Also,
right? That could speed things up.
I believe he just had a child.
It's definitely happened by now.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
I didn't want to say it when it was happening because I didn't want to be the person to announce it last week. But now that it's been a week.
Congratulations to the Oliver family on their new addition. So he's got some stuff going on. Now, everybody's like, well, they won't announce it until after the Frozen Four. There has been a precedent here because Scott Sandlin was an assistant at North Dakota, took a day off, drove to Duluth, got announced as their new head coach, then went back to Grand Forks, went to the Frozen Four, won a national championship in Providence. I remember talking to him at the Frozen Four saying, I went to Minnesota Duluth, looking forward to, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Turns out it has been 3 national championships. So there has been a precedent for announcing a new coach in that interim, and then I'm going to finish out my time at my old school, whatever. But apparently that's not going to be the case.
Now, here's a big question. Based on the salaries of the Osiki Strobel crew, remember it was stated $250,000, and that was 7, 8, 9 years ago when that came out. I'm assuming due to inflationary reasons, I'm guessing those guys might be making $300,000 in Madison. Is it a step sideways for Nick Oliver?
I mean, it's still a step up. Drew and I looked into salaries. I mean, I don't know how much of a step up he's looking for, but still a step up. I think Brett left it for something.
I don't disagree because if he's going to get a head coaching job, this is about as good of a move up as you can make because it's not like they're going to take a guy from Wisconsin and move him into Boston College
and
or
it's
Denver.
A head coaching job.
Yeah, it's a head coaching job.
You answer to the AD, not to the head coach. I mean, that to me is a step up.
Yep, I think so. I think so too.
Yeah.
Let me, Sydney, go ahead. I have a question for you at some point, but.
Yeah, I was just going to say some, wrinkles in it was last week. It sounded like when the St. Cloud State president did a radio interview last week that they seemed pretty confident on their guy. Like they were talking, hyping this mystery candidate, Nick Oliver, likely. They're hyping him all up and saying, they were getting close. And then Friday, I heard from an advisor that basically said that the team had a meeting at 10 a.m. Friday, and they all thought it was going to be, okay, we're going to hear about the new coach. Awesome. So they all get there, and it was a very, very brief meeting with the staff, athletic staff, and they just said, we're working on it. So it was a little odd. So it sounds like I didn't hear specifics, but I just heard contract issues. So I don't know if that means they're still just negotiating a deal or if that maybe has something to do with Wisconsin still playing. Or obviously, like you said, if Nick Oliver's family situation is busy and it was Easter yesterday, there's a lot of things happening this weekend. So I don't really know what that means. But if Wisconsin's leaving for Vegas probably tomorrow, I'd be surprised if they get it done today. I feel like it's got to be a next week thing then.
We're taping this on Monday. Michigan, I know, is having a very public send-off today, Monday. So I'm assuming Wisconsin also would be heading out there
early in the week.
Today. Yeah.
You had a question for Sydney?
Sydney, here's my question. And answer this as objectively as you can. You're a St. Cloud resident. You're a St. Cloud grad.
Yeah.
In the Twin Cities, we keep hearing St. Cloud and or St. Cloud State is in trouble. Enrollment's declining, that crime is rising. It's a place nobody wants to live. I mean, and obviously a lot of that is hyperbole. Give us your take on that. Because I know, when Tony and I were in college, St. Cloud State had 18,000 students. Now I think it has about maybe half that. Just how are things there as objectively as you can be?
It's kind of interesting that you say that because I actually had multiple people who were college hockey fans who aren't in the Midwest ask me that. And they're like, it's really hard to decipher because there's a lot of people on the internet saying a lot of things.
Right. And that's, I want your take as someone who lives there, someone who went to school there, you're raising your family there. What's it like in St. Cloud?
I feel like it's, very deceiving. Like there is definitely, I told somebody this, they definitely do have a lot of financial challenges right now. They definitely need some money, and they don't have donors like a St. Thomas program that are just going to, give them a bunch of money to make new big stuff.
Sure.
So obviously there's a lot of financial issues. And I saw an article recently that said football was cut to save hockey or something, just these wild rumors, which that is not true. The school originally, I believe, cited Title IX for getting into a lot of their debt a couple of years ago, because they cut football originally when I was going there. So we do not have football there. So I wouldn't say things are great at St. Cloud right now. They have a lot of financial things they got to figure out, but their new president that just joined this year, I believe, I just listened to him talk. He seems like a good leader. So hoping they can get some good leadership coming in, and, with the new rink renovations and hopefully a exciting new coach, I'm hoping that'll bring some positivity to the area. People love to hate on St. Cloud though. So I feel like a lot of it you have to take with a grain of salt.
Sure.
Cause it's just, I told somebody I could write a whole book on how the city of St. Cloud has changed over the last 20 years. So it's not like people just don't want to go there anymore. It's just the whole city is so different now.
Yeah.
It is not the same place that it was. And everyone talks to me about enrollment too, but I actually believe enrollment's gone up a bit the last few years.
Okay.
So it's gone down a lot since it's like peak party school days. It's definitely not that anymore, but I believe enrollment has actually gone back up the last few years a little bit. And they did cut some programs, but those were ones, there was like 10 people in a major. So sad, but not terrible. Nursing, business, mass comm, those all do really well still. So got a lot of work to do, but I don't think they're ready to like close the university next year. I saw some people that are like, St. Cloud's going down next year. They're not even
I hear people saying, well, they shouldn't worry about a hockey coach. I don't know if that school is going to be open in 5 years, which is obviously a hyperbole, but that's why this has been very valuable to get like your perspective as boots on the ground,
I lived in the area of St. Cloud that is considered dangerous for a chunk of my college in an apartment with all women. And we never had really any issues. The worst thing that happened to me was my bike got stolen one time.
Oh,
so, definitely
there goes the neighborhood.
Not that bad. It's people that have never been to a city that think it's
everybody who's never been there knows more than
Yeah, I've lived there my whole life and only experienced petty crime. So I think it's okay. You're not going to get shot walking through the neighborhoods at night.
My senior year of college, I had
You stole a bike?
I didn't.
Okay.
I have your Huffy. I'll get it back to you. No, I'm kidding. I lived in the Central Hillside in Duluth, kind of the middle of the city.
Yeah.
And again, it's the rough neighborhood, and everybody, oh God, you don't want to live there. Your car's going to get broken, whatever. It's fine, And so, again, the perception from outsiders versus the reality is very.
Don't forget too that St. Cloud State was just in the Frozen Four like 5 years ago.
Right.
I saw people saying like, who would ever want to take this job? I'm like, okay, it's an NCHC school.
A really good job.
And you are in a state where they play a little bit of hockey, so
Minnesota.
That's a good job.
You can always pick up Minnesotans that want to play.
They've had an incredible pipeline to my hometown, so I mean,
they've got new rink improvements coming, and also I believe they're dedicating a new wrestling center. I believe this week as well. So
Abby Murphy's brothers are St. Cloud State wrestlers.
Really?
St. Cloud State wrestling's very good.
Oh yeah,
surprised me.
National champion.
Would not surprise me.
So yeah, it's a good question. I told people I could write a book about that and how St. Cloud has changed as a city.
Well, now we know what Sydney's doing over the summer.
So I have a question for Sydney.
Complicated, yes, Tony.
This is less of a question, more of a commentary of you and I chatting this past week, and we both concluded. I don't know if it's my thought, your thought, or collective thought between us that assuming Nick Oliver's hired. And City's been saying this maybe even on our show, but for sure in text strings and with me personally that Nick Oliver is an upgrade for St. Cloud State over Brett Larson.
I think it could be a win-win for the Gophers and for St. Cloud if this is kind of what happens. Because I feel like with Brett, I think he is a great coach, but I think just for whatever reason this year, it just was kind of starting that it wasn't working out super great this year. So I think he probably will do really good with Minnesota, and I think it might just be kind of a win-win for both programs.
I think
Brett
so too. I think St. Cloud, well, obviously they each had 8 years. Bob and Brett had 8 years because they started at the same time. I think it gets to a point where you kind of plateau, and I feel like maybe Brett had a little bit of a plateau.
Coaches have a shelf life.
Yeah.
Coaches have a shelf life.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I had a very successful former college hockey coach tell me the Gophers' job is an 8 to 12-year job now.
Yeah.
These eras where guys were there for 20 years. If you're good, you're there for 20, 30 years. All of that's gone.
I think David Carl's like the only exception to this. And Guy Godowski's been there a long time.
But how many years has David Carl been there?
It's been
8,
more than 8,
maybe 9.
I think it's been more than that. Yeah. But it's
not
10.
And goodness knows, every time there's an NHL opening, we hear that
His
David
name.
Carl is the next coach for the
so
insert NHL team
max out
here.
at 12.
Any hockey job, basically, at this point.
Yeah, but I think David Carl will max out at 12 years at Denver.
David Carl will never get an NHL job. You know why? Because he hasn't had an NHL job. That's
Yes.
the only way you get an NHL job. It is the world's foremost recycling
How
program.
hilarious was this? Just the last
Pete
week.
DeBoer, hey,
Pete
welcome
DeBoer.
back.
How inventive. They
Mike
came up
Yo
with Pete
was
DeBoer.
available.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
Pete
but,
DeBoer, and then
and Dave Haxtell, where's he going next? It's insane.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And I mean, Dallas is on their
Torch.
second.
Tortorella.
Dallas is on their second run with the same guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
They got remarried.
Let's
basically.
get rid of one of the best coaches in the league, and we'll bring in Torts. I want to meet the GM. I thought this would be a good idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my point is I think the shelf life of 8.
I did,
It's
by the way.
crazy.
I did, by the way. And I know we're off topic here, which, never happened before. I did, by the way, have a former NHL executive say, a lot of agents getting calls saying, hey, will you add Vegas to my no-trade list?
Yes.
Because nobody wants to play for this guy.
No.
And this guy said it was amazing 5 years ago. All these players had Columbus on their no-trade list, and it wasn't because Columbus is not a nice place to live.
No, it's because
It was because I'm not going to play for that guy.
Poor Mitch Marner.
I'm 33. I'm not going to
Yeah,
get
I love it.
screamed at, every day by this unhinged guy. I used to love John Tortorella. I just got sick of the act.
It's run its course.
And being a guy who covers the NHL and seeing the way he treats the media for just the minute as little things, one tiny question and you're the enemy, and grow up.
It's lost its
just
edge.
getting old.
You know he's going to come in and lose his absolute mind.
The famous line.
He's lost his edge.
Pat Royce repeats this line all the time. Glenn Sonmore said the line on Jacques Demers, who was another one of he was the original recycling program.
He was, yeah.
The line on him was he has a 3-year contract, but he only has a 2-year act.
It's true.
The Kevin Constantines of the world, where you get about 18 months and then players say, enough of this
I'm
crap.
done with this.
I'm not listening to this anymore.
I'm done. I agree. So I feel like there's a little bit to that, and we can talk about the other stuff now, Sid. But I figured you and I we had a 10-minute
Sydney,
talk,
thank you
and
for
that
the
was good.
answer, and please know I'm not a basher.
No,
that
was
all
a
this,
good
and
question
I
to
wanted
ask.
to hear from somebody who lives
I've
there.
got that from people from all over. I even had a Clarkson guy actually reach out to me on Twitter and ask the same thing, just because East Coast people are like, I have never been to St. Cloud, so what is the deal? So that was good. And yeah, I think as Tony said, if it is Nick Oliver, I think that could be a win-win for everybody. But the only wrinkle I'll add to close it out is the transfer portal opens, I believe it's Monday for everybody. So if they wait till next week to make an announcement, guys aren't going to wait to hear who the hire is. If they've made up their mind that they want to leave, they're not going to give it a chance unless they enter and then withdraw. That's always an option, but that kind of throw a little bit of a wrinkle into things.
How ironic would it be if the queen of the transfer portal school has transfer portal issues, and you'd be living right in the middle of it?
That would be ironic. You're right. You're
Well,
right
I'm
in the thick
expecting
of the
in the
fire.
middle of it.
I'm expecting a few for sure. Probably not the entire
Not
team,
that
but
many.
probably at least a couple.
Who was it in this group? I'm not sure if it was Ryan or Sydney. Who's following the Gophers now?
I
on
think
Instagram.
Austin Brunovic and Barrett Hall.
Who was it?
Barrett
Bernovic.
Barrett Hall and Bernovic. Barrett Hall and Bernavik, keep your eyes
I wouldn't be
open.
surprised too if Tanner Hendricks is, thinking about.
I think he's the strongest of the candidates to
Yeah, if they're looking
scoot
for
down
deep
94.
numbers, but I don't know if many of the other guys would go for peeps. So
Speaking of
I don't know.
Scoot Down 94,
Okay, here we go.
had a nice conversation with Brett Larson in his new digs.
Yeah.
Moving quickly, putting together a staff, thinking about what they're going to do for players in some key positions. We talked a little bit off air. They've got some interesting recruits coming in. I think you're going to see
Lots.
some changes.
Yep.
And keep in mind, I started covering the Gophers right when Bob Motzko started. So there were the Bryce Brodzinskis and a couple of players who he had committed to St. Cloud who followed him to the Gophers instead. I don't know how much of that you're going to see.
It's going to be tricky because Brett and Nick are very good friends.
Yep.
Very good friends. That's going to be awkward if he's
I think if Brett
grabbing
takes anything,
Huskies.
it would be Henricks, Bernavik, or Hall, but I think that would be the most that go
Yep.
Husky to go for.
Yeah.
At
Um,
most.
We've talked
Unless
about
they
this.
want a goalie, but I don't know. I kind of doubt it. I'm not
Gophers
sure.
will be adding a goalie because Nathan Airy has entered the transfer portal.
Yeah.
So
Luca
he's
DePasqua is coming back.
Yep.
Weiss,
gone.
who got his
Is 1 minute and 6
98
seconds.
seconds in the sun. And we've talked about that. Just
Yeah.
play him. Let him play. Anyway, it doesn't matter now.
Okay.
Old news.
Weiss, if you're looking to continue the career, I've got a position for you on a Sunday league team here
Nice.
in the cities.
Nice. All right. we got an Owatonna Huskies jersey up there, so
Yep.
we're
ready.
We can make you feel comfortable.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
should we get into the regionals a little
Yep,
bit?
let's do it.
Sweet.
Oh, we're not going to Gophers.
well,
That's all right.
Oh, what did you want to talk about Gophers? Like the staff? Did you want to throw out the staff? I'll throw out my tweet, and you guys can make comments on that.
Repeat your tweet. Let's get that
I
up.
believe my tweet has.
And by the way, I'm wearing a Gopher hat. First time it's ever happened on the show. Tony's got the M on as well. I will say, just because I knew we were going to talk Brett Larson, this was a gift from Ben Gordon.
Yep.
I think it's the only piece of Gopher apparel that I own, but I love the
Really?
skating Goldie, so I put
like
on the
skating
I put on
Goldie,
the
too.
skating Goldie for this.
I use skating goalie for the tweet. Because,
Nice.
who are we going to use? And I put up pictures of Gordo and Potterese and all those guys. Like, no. So Matt Cullen, what I'm hearing is from multiple sources. It got to the point where I'm getting people within the group.
None of this is official. They haven't announced any
I
of this
said
yet.
that, didn't
Okay,
I?
Go ahead.
I said, did
I'll
you see the
just shut
tweet?
up.
I said that. I said nothing official, but via multiple sources. These are the four coaches that seem to be coming in. And I cannot pronounce Potterese.
Brennan Potterse,
Potterse, thank
who's
you.
worked with their goalies for
Yep.
several years.
Potterse goaltender. He would stay. Pods.
But he's called Pods.
Ben Gordon
Ben Gordon will stay.
remains as full time.
Recruiting genius.
And this is what I'm
Hardest working
hearing
guy in show
is
business.
that Paul Martin will leave as the volunteer coach, developmental coach, and become a full time coach. Corey Leyland leaves St. Thomas and will join the staff, and Matt Cullen will take on the
That's
role.
a big name.
Take on the role of GM or player personnel.
That kind of person. Yeah. Unofficial.
Yeah.
I think that's the wish list. Now, I'll say this.
Okay.
I didn't throw out any names in my story that I had in the Sunday Pioneer Press because Brett Larson said haven't officially been hired yet. We prefer. I'm not trying to cause trouble, but I've heard a lot of the same. I've heard a lot of the same things you have, and then there's what you hear, and then there's also what you see. Sometimes you see stuff. And I've said this before. I can't pretend I'm not seeing this.
Correct. So what you've seen
when
will
I
confirm
when I
what
was
was tweeted, right?
When I was at an arena in Minneapolis, I'll just say, I did talk to Corey Leyland there. So
right.
That's all I'm going to say.
This is what I'm saying.
And you and I said this offline. It sounds like Steve Miller will be leaving the Gopher staff.
Coach's son at St. Thomas.
Yeah, and he will be going to St. Thomas. So the joke I heard was that Corey Leyland and Steve Miller are going to meet somewhere and just trade tracksuits.
Yes, here you go.
Hopefully they wear roughly the same size.
They look both roughly the same size. It'll fit.
and hey,
very little wear and tear.
Great addition for St. Thomas if you can get Steve Miller there. Brett Larson said he knew Steve Miller well. He said I worked with him on a World Junior staff. I said, well, if you've ever worked on the World Junior staff, you worked with Steve Miller because he is Mr. World Junior.
Permanent fixture.
Yeah. He's done something like 13 out of the last 14
Seriously?
World Juniors.
That's an impressive number.
I'm getting the number wrong.
That's impressive.
But yeah, something like and I'm just going to throw it out there because this is a fact. The one World Juniors coach that didn't hire Steve Miller like in the last 15 years.
Do you know who it is?
Rand Pecknold.
Really?
He's the one guy that did not have Steve Miller on his staff. So
wow, that's a slap in the face.
Weird.
Kind of a slap in the face.
You know, hey, good for him. He's got a national championship on his resume. He can do things his way, obviously. But yeah.
So hopefully after the Frozen Four, the Gopher staff will be in cement, and we'll talk about it.
And it sounds like it's mostly just, you know, kind of crossing the T's, and I know background checks are a big thing.
Yep.
I found this out, by the way. This is Charlie Walters had this in our paper. Mark Coyle, and we talked about the way he kind of handled this. Mark Coyle doesn't hire search firms. A lot of schools will hire a search firm.
Right.
Mark Coyle prefers to do this mostly on his own, internally. Yeah. Search firms cost like $200,000, I found out.
Seriously.
I'm going to put this out there. Tony and I, Mark, if you're listening, Tony and I'll do it for half that.
I'll do it for
10%. The next time you need hockey coaches, call us. Half that. Give us $50,000 each. We'll find you the future of Gopher hockey, men's, women's, whatever. We'll do it for you for half what you would pay a search firm.
I am going to take this a step further. Okay, I'm going to lower the price because I'll take.
You're
less.
undercutting me.
No,
wow.
No, not undercutting.
Tension already. See that? I thought we were working.
You'll still get yours. You'll see it 70%. I'll take 30%. I don't really care. It's not about the money, but what I will do is I'll have it done in 48 hours. I'll have it done. Why does this take so long?
Remember?
It's not going to take that long. It's like 3 phone calls, and just give me the terms of what you want for the coach. Here's the terms. Do you want it or not? Yes. Okay, I got 4 wants. Which one should we take? Oh, we're going to take B. Yep. It's over. It's not that hard.
My friend Jason Hajdu, who is now with College Hockey, does great work.
Job.
He was at the University of North Dakota. He worked in sports information there for a long time. Well, if you remember, Dean Blaze takes a job with the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yep.
And literally like the next day, they announced Dave Haxtell is the coach. Dave Haxtell takes a job to be the head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers. Literally the same day, they announced Brad Berry's taking over. And I remember calling Hadji and I said, can you give it like 2 days? At least let us throw out some speculation. You know, give it... So North Dakota has it wired in. Like they lose a coach, they've got the next one.
Well, Dane took a week to 10 days. I believe it felt like a week.
North Dakota coaches are like when you grab a Dr. Pepper at the convenience store and another one just slides right into place.
But Dane took a week to 10 days because there was a lot.
Yeah, it took a little bit of time then. But I mean, I guess I prefer it the Gopher way. Give us a couple days to at least throw some names out there. This has just been crazy. St. Cloud might have taken a little bit too long now.
Yeah.
There's a happy medium someplace.
I'll give him a break. I'll give him a pass for sure. But I don't think it's that hard.
Would not have taken so long if not for A, a holiday weekend, B, having a baby, and C, Wisconsin pulling off an insane game.
Well, let's get into that then. Let's talk segue right This is a great segue.
Yeah.
Let's do that one first.
Sydney's got a Huskies shirt on, by the way. I saw it.
I was going to talk about anyway, so that works. The recapping the regionals, they were kind of a mess again, not going to lie. There was apparently not great ice again. There was a glass pane that broke before one of the games. That was a big delay. Broadcasters pronouncing names odd. Max and Sam Plant. Graphics with wrong
North Dakota State was in...
Go Bison.
North Dakota State was in the tournament.
Yep.
I think there was a graphic with Max Plant's name with a Gopher logo, just like things that are just so annoying to see. So
they won't make that mistake on his Hobie trophy. So.
Just frustrating again that type of thing happens every year. But the Worcester Regional had the worst attended regional final. Fun fact. Not surprising since it was Wisconsin playing Michigan State in the regional final in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Yep.
4 years ago, I was in that building for Gophers Western Michigan in the regional final in Worcester.
Good fans or
bad fans? As Jack Parker used to say, you, me, and invited guests only. Yeah.
Is that what it was?
It wasn't a great crowd.
Yeah.
It was a great game, but
yeah,
it was.
Not necessarily bad games. I mean, it was Michigan State played UConn. That was the 1-4 seed game. Michigan State won 2-1, so pretty close actually. UConn scored first. Riker Lee had a beauty of a goal we all were talking about in the group chat. Porter Martone, game winner. Trey Augustine kind of saved their butts though with 41 saves in that game. And then Dartmouth played Wisconsin. That was not a close game. Wisconsin beat them 5-1. It was only 1-1 after the first, but Wisconsin kind of just came out crazy in the third period and scored like 4 in a row. Quinn Finley, Simon Tassi both had good games. Dartmouth only had 14 shots on goal, so they didn't really do much for the ECAC there after getting a lot of hype early on. But
coaches from Minnesota, so
yeah,
there's other Minnesota coaches who couldn't mount 14 shots either.
It doesn't really matter that Dartmouth lost though, because Wisconsin goes on to beat Michigan State in the final 4-3 in overtime. I know Joey Memes clipped this, but I picked Wisconsin to upset just for fun on our last show, and Tony, you were like, "No way!" So that's funny because a weird game, no score,
not a chance, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. 2-1 Michigan State after 2 periods. They had a 2-goal lead in the third, and then Wisconsin just had a really big final 5 minutes, big kind of push back. Ben Dexheimer had the game winner, which I still can't tell on the video if it hit a skate. Like it looked just odd in the shot. And the camera didn't really slow-mo it, so I don't know if, Tony.
You have to have eyewitness on. You watch a broadcast of a boys' high school hockey game, and you're going to get a better camera sets angles in that game than you will for an NCAA tournament game. I waited and waited and waited and waited to see a camera angle that would show us that it hit a glove of a Michigan State defender, and I've yet to see it. But according to those on site, cough, cough, my friends from Minnesota, friends who have kids on Wisconsin, it did hit a defender and go in.
It looked odd, yeah. It looked a little weird, but super funny. He got interviewed after the game. We clipped it. He dropped an F-bomb live on the air. I don't know if you saw the clip, Tony, of after the game. It must have just been the camera on players celebrating, and he went up to a teammate, and you can kind of read his lips, and it just said, like, "I just said an F-bomb." So I think right after he got interviewed, he was like, "I just realized I said that on live TV." So that was amazing. But Michigan State goes down. Gavin Morrissey, a big game. Trey Augustine had a big game, but obviously, Michigan State loses. Big thing, though, Charlie Stramel, I believe it was a broken ankle on kind of a weird play early on. So that's, clearly a big loss for them kind of to start that game. It was pretty early, I think.
That is the exact words from all of my buddies who have kids in Wisconsin. Goes, man, everything just started to go our way in the second half of that game. Stramel out, all of a sudden we started to carry play, and pretty soon it was
big loss for the Minnesota Wild too. By the way,
giant.
If they had any, yeah.
He was playing his best hockey.
Playing very good.
Yeah.
And I've said this before, but Charlie Stramel is why you need the transfer portal.
Yes.
You shouldn't be locked in and have to sit out a year. And it gets ridiculous when you have guys playing at 4 schools in 5 years or anything like that. Yeah. But Charlie Stramel is the perfect example of, you know what? This isn't quite the right fit for me. I'm going to try it someplace else.
I'm going to go play for the coach that I played
for. He's a legit future NHL player now after a first couple of years where it looked like, ooh, yeah, that didn't work out.
Yeah, and he was comfortable with the coach at Michigan State.
Absolutely.
He was his coach in World Juniors and U18 Worlds and the NTDP.
I'll say this. So Nightingale is going to be the coach of World Juniors next year. Good for him. I think that's been announced. If not, it's been widely rumored.
It has been. It has been.
Great guy, great staff. Jared DeMichael, his top assistant, is an unbelievable recruiter. Basically put together that UMass team that won a national championship in 2021. They've done great stuff there. They've reinvigorated Michigan State. The narrative is quickly becoming.
Immediately.
You've taken the best team in the Big Ten to the tournament, 3 years in a row now?
Yep.
And
lost in the regional final.
Haven't seen you playing in April. And that's tough.
There is a definite choke vibe.
I think of Craig Dahl at St. Cloud State when he had all those great teams in the early 2000s and couldn't get over the hump. Couldn't win an NCAA tournament game.
Yep.
Spartans have won NCAA tournament games, but have lost in the regional final, I think, 3 years in a row now.
I think the vibe there has definitely changed in one shot.
And
one shot on goal, the vibe at Michigan State
And you
changed.
know what makes it exponentially worse? See that maize and blue jersey right there?
It makes it worse.
Yeah,
no
makes it
question
much worse when your arch rival that you battle for everything somehow keeps going to the Frozen Four, and not somehow. Michigan is a really, really good team.
They're really good.
Yeah.
Funny quick sidebar to this. I was watching the Final Four basketball, and they had the panelists up there before the Michigan-Arizona game, and they're asking Magic Johnson who's going to win this game. And he's like, well, I think it's going to be the team from the Big Ten. They're going to win it. I can't say that name, right? And then Clark Kellogg jumps in and goes, who went to Ohio State, he goes, yeah, I'm a big Big Ten guy. We've had a great year this year. I think that Big Ten team's going to win too.
As
they
say,
could not pit Michigan. They couldn't do it. It was hilarious.
You know, the Ohio State guys always say that team up north.
Yes.
They will not say the name. And in fact,
it was so funny.
my first time in Columbus, Curtis LeMay.
Oh, yeah. Good player.
No. Guy who invented the B-52 bomber.
Oh, I was thinking of this guy.
Legendary American history figure. Curtis LeMay.
Yeah.
He started Strategic Air Command, all that.
Yeah.
Outside OSU ice rink, there's a historical sign about that's where Curtis LeMay's worked. And,
really?
And they got this historical sign. Every M on the sign had a red X over it.
Really?
Like literally dozens of red X's. Any place there was the letter M, they had taken it out.
They still do that.
And this is in Columbus.
Yeah. They still do it.
If you're the Wolverines, God bless you. You're probably the greatest public school in the United States. You've got an unbelievable athletic program, but nobody likes you. Sorry.
They live rent-free in Ohio State's head.
Absolutely. And in Michigan State's head.
Oh, for sure. In Michigan State, for sure.
Yeah.
I love it.
And hey, great team. Could very well win 2 games out in Vegas and bring a national championship there for the first time since 1998 when a guy from Coon Rapids scored in overtime to win the NCAA title.
I love that.
Josh Langfeld.
Yeah.
Trivia question.
His son Cam plays for Andover.
Yep. But sorry, Michigan. Nobody likes you.
No, that's true. All right, let's keep rolling. We definitely got off track there.
So Michigan State wins that regional, Wisconsin wins that regional, excuse me. But props to obviously Mike Hastings and his staff. That's I don't think many people had Wisconsin advancing on from that one. So kind of cool to see, just because obviously they were not the top team in that regional.
Frozen Four the last 6 years. Mike Hastings has been in half of them with 2 different teams.
Yeah. Clearly a pretty good coach. I think we all know that.
Good job, Hasty.
Sioux Falls Regional, best attended regional final. Not surprising because North Dakota was in it. North Dakota played Merrimack. They won 3-0. Ollie Josephson did not play over the weekend. A lot of Minnesotans scoring. Cody Kroll scored twice. That was Thursday. Dylan James 1 goal. Jan Spunar 31 save shutout, just on fire lately. And then the other game, Providence played Quinnipiac, 5-2 final for the Bobcats. The Hockey East teams this year, just hot messes, just not good.
Everywhere.
What frauds Hockey East is this year. Quinnipiac does a good job, though. They're up 3-0 after the second period. Providence kind of tried to come back in the third, pulled within 1, but they couldn't really pull it off. 2 empty netters, I believe. Final game, North Dakota beats Quinnipiac 5-0. I saw videos from the regional. The North Dakota fans were just going nuts, having a blast. Just clearly it was just all North Dakota fans since the attendance was so high, just making probably the drive down from Grand Forks since it's not that far away. Jack Kernan, 2 goals. Cody Kroll scores again. So a lot of Minnesotans. Another shutout for Jan Spunar. Quinnipiac actually pulled his goalie pretty early, so not a great game for the Bobcats, and Nodax onto the Frozen Four.
No big surprises there.
No big surprises.
This is my favorite Frozen Four bit of trivia this year. All 4 teams have a freshman goalie.
Ooh.
How about that? You know, how many times have we heard coaches say you win with your upperclassmen?
Yeah.
No, not on the back end, you don't.
Not this year. Holy smokes. Are we going to Loveland?
Albany and Loveland. Albany, that one was kind of interesting. There's a lot of variables in Albany. I think a lot of us were pulling for the Dogs, but Michigan beats Bentley 5-1. Unfortunately, Bentley does not have luck like it had last year in the regionals a little bit. It was 5-0 Michigan.
They didn't play the Hockey East team.
Yeah, Bentley scored late in the last minute of play.
There's a great clip, by the way. There's a great clip. I don't know if you saw the Bentley goal.
I did not see it.
The announcer, I don't know who the announcer was, but he says something about, Jack Ivankovic, he's 2 minutes away from a shutout, and literally like that, Bentley scores. And then he says, boy, I think I may have just jinxed him. It's like, yeah, no kidding,
Of course
buddy.
you did.
Yeah. Gosh.
I did not see that.
Yeah, and
Well-
he owned up to it. You don't talk about
Yeah.
a shutout, but anyway.
That or overtime.
Easy game again. Minnesota Duluth plays Penn State. That was, I think, one of the most interesting games of the week for me.
Yep.
UMD wins 3-1. Max Plant, Ty Hansen, and Hunter Anderson all score. For Penn State, it wasn't McKenna or any of the other big names. It was Shea Van Olm who got their goal. It was 1-1 most of the game, though, so pretty even. The Dogs didn't get the game winner till late in the third, and then I believe it was an empty netter, so pretty close game. And then in the final,
I watched that game. It was that was a good one.
How about the Quinnipiac tweet after the game? That's probably the best tweet of the ball.
There was something. Quinnipiac went after Penn State for something.
Yeah, so McKenna, he was a top 10 finalist.
Yep.
And they make all these claims why he should win the Hobie or whatever. And obviously Quinnipiac's got a Hobie winner. And says, yeah, that'd be great if you were actually in the tournament and not a -3. And they just basically just sauteed Gavin McKenna.
Oh. I did see a UMD fan tweet out, well, I hope that was worth $750,000.
Oh, man.
Didn't win an NCAA
They're
tournament
open.
game.
They're open for it, right?
Yeah.
Party's over in the valley.
Yeah.
Have you seen how many people they've lost?
It's
Yeah,
not
we'll
good.
talk about it later. I got a chunk on that.
Oh, don't get the queen going.
That was
okay?
a teaser right there. That was a
Do
teaser.
not get the queen
Teaser.
going. She decides when we talk about that stuff.
Teaser.
Ryan, you don't get to talk about that.
Final game, Michigan beats UMD 4-3. Dogs try to make a comeback, but can't quite push it to overtime.
So,
Michigan was up 3-0 after one, but it was really close.
another great moment. Did you see the Max Plant interview after the second period?
No.
Oh, my goodness. Now, not a real verbose kid anyway.
No.
His Hobie
No.
speech is going to be short. I'm just letting you know when he wins the Hobie on Friday.
Don't jinx it.
I'm not. He goes to the Hobie school. How can he not win?
Oh, that's true. His dad didn't help for his dad.
The home of the Hobie, and we
Didn't
can
work for his dad.
We can right a 33-year-old wrong by giving it to a
no
member of the
doubt
Plant
about
family.
it. No doubt about it.
Anyway, they're down
This
3-0.
one's for dad.
They're down 3-0 after 2. They've played pretty well.
Yes.
Had a strong second period. Absolutely no puck clock. Hit a crossbar, hit a post. Should have been probably 3-2 going into the third. They put the headset on Max Plant. And they said, Max, it looked like your team played a lot better in the second period. Feel like you're getting to your game? And he said, yep.
Love it.
Dead silence. So they're trying to recover now. It says, Max, what do you need to do in the third period? You need to score 3, maybe 4. All right, Max, can't thank you enough for that. And he's throwing the headset as he's saying that's
Yeah, read the room. Don't interview.
So
the only Plant you want to interview is Zam. He'd talk for an hour.
I think you want to interview Christy because she's fantastic.
She's her too, for sure, her.
So,
but because Zam is a lot like Christy, I've been saying it for years. Where Vic and Max not so much.
So they mount a comeback. They make it 3-2, and then Michigan gets one, and then then it's I think it was 4-3, and whatever it is. It's a 1-goal game. Pull the goalie. They've got a chance. Puck bounces. Then the clip, and I retweeted this. In front of the net, a Michigan player reaches up and just
it's unbelievable.
Full-on bear hug tackles the guy. Now, I'll say this. In Michigan's defense, strategically, smart play.
Yeah.
What's the worst that happens? You give him a 10-second power play?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Sadly, it was the right play, but it was...
Was it in the crease?
I didn't realize
just
that was
outside
with 10
the crease.
seconds left.
Yeah, there's like 15. There's like 15 seconds
football.
left when he makes this tackle.
I know.
And we go back to Pete Stauber knocking the net off the post in the national championship game.
Yeah.
At the time, it was a 2-minute penalty or something like that. It's like, oh, okay, we'll take our chances.
We'll take it.
Yep,
we'll take it.
Yep. So UMD's season ends maybe sooner than it should have.
They get close, but they just can't get that extra to push it to OT. Plus, they would have had to play overtime, too. So if they spent all that energy, I don't know, the overtime would have been a little tough maybe if they just spent all that energy trying to just push it to OT. I believe Michael Hage was the extra skater in the lineup, but I don't know how much
What
he
is
played.
going on there?
Yeah,
I know he's been hurt, so.
I think he was ill.
Okay.
I think it was an illness. I got to say, too, quick shout-out, Ty Hansen. Man, what a year.
Yeah.
What
good year.
a revelation for a guy that
Undrafted.
nobody was talking about coming into this season.
Undrafted.
Yeah.
He's gonna be. He could.
He's gonna do well for
I
himself.
feel like he's coming back because they got so much good stuff coming back and players coming in. But he could turn pro right now.
Also, one more Dogs note: Jason Shogby, happy birthday yesterday. Turned 21. Good for him.
Nice. Nice. Any other notes, Tony?
This was just more of a statement in general about Bulldogs fans. In 2018, I had far fewer text strings than I have now in 2026, right? So in the heat of the Bulldog supremacy in the late teens, I want the Bulldogs to win. In this situation, there's nothing more than watching those kids. We've listed them all off, Zam and Max and Han and all those guys, right?
Yeah.
But man, some of their fans just wanting me to hate them. I'm like, I don't hate them. I want them to get there.
I'll say this, Tony. You're a Twin Cityan. There's a general mistrust of Twin Cityans among
be.
the Bulldog fan base.
It must be. I'm like, I want them to go. If they go, I'm going. I would be in Las Vegas if they're going. I want to go because it would have been way too many Minnesotans.
Since you brought up 2018, I just have a quick aside here. Okay.
Are you going to your tweet from earlier?
We're talking
today?
about Michigan.
About Quinn Hughes.
Yeah. Yes. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
You tweeted it, or did you write an article about it?
No, I tweeted it. I'm hoping to talk to Quinn Hughes about it at some point.
You should.
But Quinn Hughes, freshman at Michigan, playing his first ever game in what would later become his office, Grand Casino Arena, XL Energy Center at the time. They're playing Notre Dame. It's a tie game with 10 seconds left. Now, I had forgotten this because I talked to Quinn Hughes briefly about this. Because I said, Notre Dame scored in the last minute. He said, and they scored with 3 seconds left.
Yeah.
And I had forgotten this part, though. Hughes is on the ice. He has his guy tied up. Like, he literally is on him.
Yeah.
And the Notre Dame player shoots the puck between Quinn Hughes' legs and scores with 3 seconds left in the semifinal.
Who was the guy again? I just saw that clip yesterday.
For all, everybody thinks we're going to overtime.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame and Tony, going into that national championship game against UMD, I would have bet $1,000 of my own money on Notre Dame. They just seemed like a team of destiny.
Yeah, they did.
It just every luck of the Irish thing that could happen for Notre Dame that year had happened. They won the Big Ten regular season. They won the tournament. They get to the Final Four, Frozen Four. They have that win against Michigan. I remember doing a radio interview that day saying, any way UMD can win tonight, I said, sure, there's a way they can win, but this is UMD's year, or this is Notre Dame's year.
Really? That's interesting.
And then the Bulldogs do their Bulldog thing and completely shut them down and win a 2-1 game and win a championship.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
They had them on lockdown, I feel like, the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame didn't get a sniff in that game.
That's what I thought.
And the next year in the national championship against UMass, it was worse.
Way worse.
It was in Buffalo, and 8 minutes in, it's 1-0 UMD, and it's like, pack it up.
It's over.
Game's over.
It's over, I know.
Cale Makar, I'm not sure he even played in that game.
It's funny you say I had the same feeling about Minnesota State in Boston when they got a lead. I'm like, this game's over. There's no chance Hasty's going to cough up a lead.
Yep.
Boy, did they ever.
And Denver stormed back.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, there's my quick aside. Quinn Hughes, we knew great things were coming, but man, that one stings.
Yeah.
How about this? Quinn Hughes, freshman year, his last game is in Minnesota in St. Paul.
Yep.
His sophomore year, his last year of college hockey, his last game is at 3M Arena at Mariucci, and he left on crutches because he had
I remember that.
He had an ankle injury. He signed with Vancouver a couple days later. So his 2 collegiate seasons both ended in the Twin Cities, and now he works here.
No, he works here.
Doing quite well too.
I think he is.
Yeah, he's good at hockey.
I heard he's good. I read some articles in the Pioneer Press about it. They were really
some
good.
great articles that you haven't read yet.
Great articles.
Just a shame to watch. How would you characterize this? Historic Minnesota Wild terrorist Patrick Kane take down.
It was really
that hurt, didn't it?
Hurt
and
my
by the way, speaking of Quinn Hughes at Michigan, Mel Pearson showed up at Wild practice last week. Had a nice talk with him. He recruited Quinn at.
Mel Pearson followed YHH last week too.
Mel, a former Edina
arrived.
prep star, Mel Pearson.
Yes.
Interesting story, by the way. He came here because his dad played for the St. Paul Saints in the WHA.
That's why he came.
Minnesota Fighting Saints.
Yeah.
That's the Flin Flon, Manitoba.
I was wondering how he
moved here with his dad. Well, he's like a sophomore at Edina, and his dad either retired or got traded. And Mel says, "I'm not leaving here.
I'm staying here."
Mel found like literally a billet family in
Don't
Edina.
tell anyone say that. Don't say that.
Stayed there the last 2 years so he could play in a state tournament.
So let's go check the records. Did they make the state tournament?
Oh yeah.
Well, geez,
there's a fantastic.
We can go back and
drop
records. Let's vacate those titles.
Vintage Minnesota Hockey or somebody.
I'm vacating those.
Vintage Minnesota Hockey or somebody has a great Edina's team picture that year. Front row. There's Mel Pearson, and keep in mind this is like 1977.
Collared shirt.
Everybody was doing it. No, team picture, but the white kid afro is just outstanding. You know, the big perm.
I remember.
So I've cropped that photo and sent it to Mel a few times, and yeah, we have fun. I remember
those well.
So yeah, so he came to Tria Rink, hung out with Quinn Hughes. They did lunch, got a tour of the facility, everything. And really cool moment for him to look at this guy who's
correct
one of the best defensemen in the NHL now.
Yeah, top 3, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He should have been looking back. He'd be playing in Buffalo.
So you didn't think that was a good move by Patrick Kane to just trip a guy behind the play for no reason late in a tie game?
I mean, it was an automatic call. There were Detroit fans that were actually mad.
What did the cabbie in Buffalo have to say about that play? Do we know? No? Okay, forget it.
All right.
I don't know. It's laughable.
It's for sure penalty. Sydney, one more regional.
One more regional. Loveland Regional. Western Michigan, Minnesota State. Western Michigan defeats the Broncos again 3-1, 2-0 Western after 2. Minnesota State scored 1, but Western got an empty netter, seals the deal. Denver plays Cornell. Big Red, not a great showing. Jake Fisher open scoring. Final score 5-0. Johnny Hicks still has not lost, freshman goalie. 24 save shutout. And the final game, Denver beats Western Michigan and CHC foes 6-2. It was 4-1 Denver after first period. Very eventful first period. Brendan McMorrow had a goal. I believe Eric Polkamp had the empty netter. So a couple Minnesotans there doing good things. And of course, Denver looks like Denver right now. Denver being Denver. Yeah. Tony, before we get into notables, do you want to talk about the USHL quickly?
Yeah, I think the regular season just wrapped up. I saw Mason West scored a goal, shootout winner. Fargo Force, finished their season. Finished their regular season. Now we're heading
and he threw 3 interceptions though. That's the part they don't talk about.
I feel like the USHL right now is under attack in some ways. The people are saying there's been a lot of news just very recently about all the WHL players, the CHL players coming into the NCAA, and I feel like one of the things that you got to always remember is the organizations in the USHL. They've been here, they know what they're doing. The number of coaches. A job comes open, and USHL head coaches like Skinner are finalists for those types of jobs. That tells you gives you some idea. They were talking. I just saw recently the head coach at Lincoln has just coached his how many 100th game is that? Did you see that? Was that out yesterday? Sid, the head coach at Lincoln, 800th game.
I'm not sure. We're recording our
long time coaches.
Here's all you need to know about USHL coaches. What did the extension that Anthony Noreen just got at Miami through 2031?
Yeah.
After the things he did at Tri-City which were fantastic.
Yeah.
How
hard is that?
Matthew Nyes, who is from Phoenix, Arizona, and plays in the mecca of the NHL right now in Toronto, still talks about his time in Kearney, Nebraska as a defining point in his career.
Absolutely.
Under Anthony Noreen. That's what you need to know about the USHL and the coaches, the quality of the coaches that this league attracts.
That's the point.
Is unbelievable.
The coaching, the development, the whole 9 yards, you're going to get it in the USHL, and I'm excited about what we're going to bring even more next year. They've already committed to being a sponsor of ours next year with the emphasis on putting with the success they've had with us promoting their league and continuing their growth with Minnesota players. So,
and I tell you this too, you talk about leadership. When they hired Glenn Heffernan, it's like, who? This guy from New Jersey?
He's been amazing.
He has been fantastic in running that league. He said, I live close to Newark Airport. I'm 2 hours from any place in the league. Anytime I want to get there, he's hands-on, despite the fact that he doesn't live, in
he's
this
very hands-on
geographic area.
He was
you
telling
talk
me-
about a guy who has wired in and has this job. He's done just amazing.
I mean, he was telling me the story about. Do you remember last year in the Clark Cup Finals? I'm not sure if it was the final game was where there was going to be. It was definitely against Waterloo because he and Smaby got into it a little bit about a challenged goal, and he's like, yeah, we're right there. We have all 6 camera angles. He's telling me all about it. I was like, yeah, that's called hands.
Oh yeah, no. If that's my impression of Glenn Heffernan.
He's not the Don Lucia.
He's great to deal with in the media, and also it's like if you want to come after him, pack a lunch because man, he's got it wired in. I mean, just like that, having 6 camera angles. It's like, well, which one of these 6 do you want to look at, and I'll show you why you're wrong. You know, it's like that's what I like about. Because let's face it, that's a tough job.
Oh yeah,
you've got the team owners, you've got the coaches, you're answering for all the refs. I mean. And he stands up to all of it and just says, "Okay, bring it on." You know,
it's not easy.
And like you say, all these attacks and these, gloom and doom and the WCHA.
It's not.
He's like, "Hey, bring it on." We've got a plan. We'll show you why we're not only going to survive this, but
thrive.
We're going to thrive. Yeah,
I agree. Did you like that shot on Don Lucia, Commissioner?
Oh.
I swear I've been to 3, 4 CCHA.
You're still mad about
venues.
that empty seat then in Mankato.
I got to sit next to the empty seat. I've got to sit next. I should just start taking all my empty seat Don Lucia pictures.
I was gonna say, do you have a ghost job?
That's my point. I mean, he's the commissioner. But
Sydney, by the way,
I wouldn't call him hands-on.
I got to say to Sydney, that logo on your shirt is the best Huskies logo ever. I got to say, as much as I like the Herb Brooks, the CST, that thing.
Oh, I like the one. I like the little skating dog one.
That is very controversial, Jess. Yeah. People like the old logo, the old Husky.
Like the one with that's on the front of the jersey, the skating Husky.
Not this. We call that one the Derpy Dog. Like the old, the 2000s Husky.
Okay.
Yeah. What's this one? I like that one.
I like that one a lot.
Oh, that's kind of controversial, but okay.
And by the way, the Duluth Huskies, the minor league baseball team, they took the one you're talking about and just absolutely copied it as their logo at one point. So.
Hey, well, that's just sports,
Yeah, exactly. Everybody borrows from everybody.
And there's only so many Huskies you can come up with in graphics.
You're the one right in the middle, like
99.
I don't like
that one.
You don't like 99?
Yeah.
You don't even have the.
No, I like the
dog.
one. I like the one Sydney's got on, and then of course the CST. The Canadians style one. That was the one that
class. They still use that.
See, but here's my thing with it.
Yeah, it's right there.
They started using that like for their volleyball team.
I know.
It's like, come on, that's a hockey logo.
I know. Football helmet. It was on the football helmet.
I know. Don't do that. That's a hockey logo.
It's just like this winged helmet on the hockey helmet. I hate it. Hate it.
All right, well, peeps, we should keep going.
Oh, you're talking about Michigan or like Ohio State does theirs. Yeah.
I
think the Gophers should do that. Go to a maroon helmet with an M on the side.
Yeah. No.
Can
you see Wisconsin hockey wearing white helmets with like a red stripe?
No.
That's just silly.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Have we gone through all the regionals yet?
Yep.
Yes, finally. So let's keep the train rolling. Let's not keep this super long for this segment.
Wait. Can we leave the regionals without bringing up David Carl's comments?
Is this the time?
Are we going to keep?
Everybody talks about it every year. So what new things do you want to add?
That's my point. Too.
Here's what I'm going to commend David Carl for saying. David Carl had a home game in Loveland, Colorado. Every time Denver goes to Loveland, they win.
Right.
And David Carl had the guts to stand up and say, this game should have been in Kalamazoo. Easy to say after you win.
Yeah, easy to say.
But he's committed to this idea that, you play at home sites. Now, I did have a coach in this part of the country say to me once, I don't want to go to Quinnipiac for a playoff game. I get that. But it's an idea that's not going away. Let's just say that.
You and I, us old folks here, have lived through on-site regionals, and they, in a lot of cases, it's not fair. It's not fair.
But if you get
awarded
a regional for winning,
it is.
What's not fair about that?
No, the way they used to do it for you youngins out there, they would establish the regional on a campus, and then they put the team there, even if they were a 3 or a 4 seed, they would get the home ice advantage.
No,
which
we're
is
talking
not
about
fair.
the higher seed host the game.
Highest seed should be number 1. I'm totally okay with that.
Yep.
If you NPI'd your way to the top 4, you should get a number 1 seed
Now,
and host.
I've talked about this before. Bon, we've talked a lot about Michigan today. Yost Ice Arena is where it runs into trouble because it just doesn't have the locker room facilities to accommodate more than 2 teams.
Suck it up. Bring in a trailer. Trailer. It's not that expensive.
Yep.
Bring in a trailer for them to have their own. Everyone gets their own trailer. You know what I'm talking about? You want the satellite trailers? It'd be fine.
I can't remember where
They
the Frozen.
probably make Mac Daddy trailers.
I can't remember where the Frozen Four was, but the 4 seed was at a Frozen Four and was complaining to a member of the committee. Well, we're the 4 seed. We get the worst locker room, whatever. And the member of the committee's response was, "Here's the solution: don't be a 4 seed.
Don't be a 4 seed.
Win more games."
I agree.
You know, so I guess I'm kind of with you. If you're gonna dress in a temporary trailer out back at Yost Arena because you're the 4 seed, well, don't be a 4 seed.
I agree. Just don't be the 4 seed.
There's a solution. You had a game back in December, win that one,
You would've been
and
a
that
3
boosts
seed.
you a little bit.
I agree. I agree. Put them in a trailer.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that big a deal.
You'd have to change the format because you couldn't do it all in one weekend, probably.
What do you mean?
Well, like the semifinals, don't the higher seeds host those games? Or you're saying the number 1 seed hosts all 3 regional games?
Yes.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
that might work.
Oh yeah, they lose in the first round. If a 1 loses to a 4.
So who would we have this year? We would have had 3 games in Kalamazoo.
Yep.
We would have had
3
in Michigan
and 3 in Lansing.
And 3 in East Lansing and 3 at the Ralph.
You could have went to a lot of college hockey games within like 2 hours of each other.
Yeah.
Can't you see how they can guarantee, though, that the regionals will be spread out a little bit with the current model?
Don't care.
They do.
Nobody's.
I did it the current way, by the way.
Nobody was in Worcester.
I did it.
You did. You told me that.
I was in Worcester and I drove to Albany. It's 2 hours.
That's incredible.
Yeah. It's not a bad drive.
You get your badge.
Western Mass is kind of pretty, kind of hilly, kind of forested. Yeah. It's very not like Boston.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
I'm glad we got to discuss this. I'm in favor of.
I just wanted to throw it out there.
I'm in
Point
favor
of discussion.
Yeah, I just don't want to spend too long on it because every year everybody talks about it. And it's like, okay, if we don't have anything new to add, then they're not changing anything.
Can I just throw one more little topic out there? I mean, this is.
I'll say this: Worcester Chamber of Commerce isn't making a lot of money off the current system. So
No. Okay, so as long as we're on the topic of the tournament and whatever, and we all agree that the TV coverage could be way better and more professional and all those things, but this whole wait a week thing for the NCAA basketball tournaments to end, it kind of loses. I feel like hockey loses it. No?
Disagree.
Yes,
Okay.
Joey Means actually had a question he wanted us to talk about, which you kind of just answered it, Tony, but he said, does it feel like a momentum killer for some teams?
I think it is.
Here's my counterpoint.
Wisconsin-
Well, go ahead,
the
make your
regional-
point, and I'll make a counterpoint.
Then that if we're going to play it out, then can't the regionals be held the weekend of the Final Four? You know what I mean? Extend the season out, start the season later. But I feel like the momentum gets lost in that 1 week where it just kind of dies.
Because he said some teams, like Wisconsin, will have only played 2 games in the span of 28 days before the Frozen Four.
Correct.
If you don't go far in your conference tournament.
Here's why I like the current system. 2 reasons.
Okay.
And I'm old. I've been doing this a long time. Reason number 1, 1999, it's a Sunday night. I'm in Madison, Wisconsin, watching a regional final at the Dane County Coliseum. Boston College against Northern Michigan, I want to say.
Yeah.
On a Sunday night.
Because they were staggering it.
Wednesday, so 3 days later.
Oh, geez. Is that how they did it?
I'm flying to Anaheim, California for the Frozen Four. 3 days later.
No, I don't believe in
That was a problem. Okay, there's one reason I didn't like
I
it.
didn't like that. I don't like that at all.
Okay, number 2, Milwaukee, 1993. Frozen Four at Milwaukee at the Bradley Center. Great rink, by the way. God rest its soul. I loved the Bradley Center.
Yep.
It was a great Frozen Four house, and Milwaukee is a great town.
Yep.
Michigan loses to Maine in several overtimes in the semifinal on Thursday. On Friday, Saturday, championship game going on, Maine versus Lake Superior State. And all the Michigan media is sitting in the media room watching a basketball game on TV.
Oh, yeah.
That I didn't like.
Yep.
So I don't like going head-to-head with the Final Four because it's too big a deal.
It is.
Unless you're going to stagger the Frozen Four and do the Frozen Four Friday, Sunday. But you've got women's basketball Friday, Sunday.
Which is Friday, Sunday.
So I don't like going head-to-head with basketball.
I don't either.
And I don't like the fact that, if you're a North Dakota fan, we won on Sunday night. I have 3 days to find a way to get to Las Vegas. That'd be terrible.
Couldn't they do it the way I just said it, where they would do the regionals this past weekend?
In theory. But again, then you're still head-to-head against basketball. You think the regional attendance is bad now?
Really?
Yeah.
I just don't see it.
Okay.
I feel like the hockey schools and the basketball schools
So
are
I don't-
so different.
It's imperfect the way it is now, but it's better than it was. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you this. We all agree that on-site regional number 1 seeds.
Yep.
I'm down
fine
with that.
I'm fine.
I'm
with
down with that too.
I'm fine with that.
Wouldn't that save the NCAA a ton of money?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would
just
think it
thinking
was a ton of money as long as they
Travel
get the
costs.
money
Can I
out
say
of the
this
schools.
too? Let me
travel
just say,
costs.
Yeah.
because you mentioned the announcers. Sydney, you brought up the announcers. I came up with a term a couple of years ago in Tampa because I covered college hockey full-time. That was my full-time job.
Yeah.
I'm an NHL writer now. I don't pretend I'm a college hockey writer anymore.
Yeah.
But I covered college hockey start to finish all season, tried to cover the whole Big Ten, all of that. In Tampa at the Frozen Four
boy.
in 2023, I came up with a term that I call paratroopers. These are people who don't cover college hockey,
Yeah.
but they parachute into the Frozen Four.
Dude,
Or they-
this is like the
or they-
state tournament.
Or they parachute
Yeah,
in.
it's like the
same.
state tournament.
Exactly.
It's a state tournament.
Exactly.
Like, oh, God.
And this is how you get people who don't know how UMD's best player's name is pronounced.
Oh,
right.
This is how you get
Paratroopers, I like that.
This is how you get an NDSU logo next to one of the most storied programs in college hockey.
Yep.
Is these, and God bless them, they're trying to make a living as members of the media, and they get a call, hey, can you cover a regional in Worcester? Who's playing, you don't have to pretend you know who they are, but this is an issue, and this is why you have these problems made, is these people who drop in for 3-4 games a year, and some of them are really good. Some of them do their homework.
Yes.
My friend Dave Starman, I'll just
do it.
throw his name out there.
He'll do it. for
He
sure.
he will order a carafe of coffee for his hotel room and stay up all night learning line combinations, histories, pronunciations, all of that. Some of them are really good. Some of them show up at the game and say who's playing.
Right. I'm with you.
So that's an issue.
That's a media thing, but I also call it. We also have a factor we talk about. It's a concept we have on our boys pod. Is you go to a section, you go to a Tuesday night game between Edina and whatever Eden Prairie. There'll be 500 people at Braemar. You go to section final, it's packed. There's 3,000 fans, right?
Yeah.
And I call it the dumb fan effect. Like the fans that show up at a section final are so dumb. Shoot, just all that stuff, right? So my point being is like, you kind of need the dumb fans to kind of make it special.
Yeah.
Do you get? I mean, it's kind of like the dumb media people too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they just kind of come flying in for those games. It's like, okay, I kind of like the 500 fans at Braemar sometimes better than the
I do too.
2,000 fans at Braemar.
My sons went to high school at Simley.
Yeah.
What's Simley known for?
Wrestling.
Yeah. You know how many wrestling matches my son went to? Every one that was at XL Energy
Yes.
Center. And that's
it.
you know? Same kind of deal.
concept.
And there was, I got to say, at Simley, just as an example, there was this real resentment to all these fans that would just show up in St. Paul. Hey, where were you on a Tuesday night when we had a duel against Two Rivers?
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. That's my point.
Same
Like,
kind of deal.
Same
So,
concept.
and maybe in Tampa it was more pronounced because it was
Because the
Tampa,
weather.
but
Yeah.
just so many paratroopers,
Oh, yeah.
And God bless, I've got a lot of friends in the media who cover college hockey. I remember being in Boston. Mankato's in the tournament.
Yeah. I thought it was awesome.
And I got my headphones on. I'm trying to write, and people are tapping me. Hey, what does Southern Minnesota mean? When they say, how do you define that? So oh, God. It got so bad at some points I had to just pack up my stuff, go back to my hotel, and do my work there because I'm a social person. I talk a lot,
yeah.
and people come talk to me, and it's just you couldn't work in that
I
environment.
couldn't work there at all.
Yeah.
I did most of my work in the
Yeah,
in the room.
you and I are like short attention span theory
Yes.
too. It's
I'm like, I'm out.
I almost
Jess
wrote a
and Tony,
paragraph there, but
what?
then I saw a shiny object, and that threw me off.
Yeah. All right, Sydney, let's keep rolling.
Okay, let's roll through this. The main notable thing since we recorded last, unfortunately, Mercyhurst randomly just decided that they're cutting hockey. That was the big bummer of last week. And right after the school had their giving day, asking for donations. Little slimy there by whoever in admin would have known about that. And clearly the coaches and the players did not know about it. I saw a tweet from one of the players that said, like, we had no idea. So just obviously that sucks. They're a long time, storied program with a lot of history. So sucks. And I know there's a petition going around too. And
I was going to say,
I don't know if they'll be able to
pause the
Morris.
program. Don't kill it.
Go online. Adam Carlson. We've talked about him before. Edina goalie. He played at Mercyhurst for a little while.
Yep.
He was a volunteer goalie coach with them. Recently, he's been working. He does some Minnesota Wild practices. He'll show up as a third goalie. Fantastic guy.
Amazing.
He asked if I would promote it, and it's out there on social media. If you look up Mercyhurst Hockey, there's a petition saying save the program somehow. It's a long shot, but it worked at Robert. Yeah, it worked at Robert Morris. They tried to kill Robert Morris, and the Colonials are back. So if there's a way to save, what is it about Pennsylvania, by the way?
I don't know.
Why do we keep trying to kill college hockey there?
I don't know. There's too many good players in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. And it coincided with Rick Gotkin retiring, longtime coach there, a great guy, ran a clean program, ran a great program.
The lifeblood.
Yep. So, hey, if you're interested in the future of college hockey, go online and let your voice be heard. Save the Lakers.
Yeah.
I agree.
Don't need to go on any Hobie tangents here, but Hobie hat trick is Pole Camp Plant. And
I already
TJ
named the winner, so we're good.
Yep.
It seems like, a lot of people leaning towards Max Plant. TJ Hughes had a great season, but he's 24, so a lot of people are like, he's kind of on the older side. A little surprising to some, no Ethan Wittenbach and also no Gavin McKenna. Those were kind of the big names that were possibilities, but those are the final three. Early departures, signings / portal rumors. I'll just run through these. The Minnesotans we can talk about if we want. We already mentioned Nate Airy to the portal. Not surprising. Augustana.
I own his pads, by the way.
Yeah, you can buy his pads from Facebook Marketplace if you would like.
For the record, those weren't his Gopher pads. They were some other pads.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody pointed out those weren't actually his University of Minnesota pads.
Oh, they were colored like it.
Yeah, they were similar.
Yeah.
But they were not his Gopher pads that he was selling on Facebook Marketplace.
They get a new pair every year. So.
Okay.
True. I probably mentioned this before. Jared Moe, Holy Family.
Lefty. Yeah.
Lefty played 1 year for the Gophers. No, played 2 years with the Gophers and then transferred to Wisconsin.
Yep.
Lefty. Well, I had been using the same lefty goalie gloves since literally 1985. They had the old.
Did you buy it?
They had the old Cooper Waffle. I now own Jared Moe's.
That's awesome.
Gopher gloves.
Is both?
I own them both.
I like.
Yep.
That's good. It's good pickup.
Nice.
Anyway.
Other people in the portal, Augustana's Quinn Rudrud and Ben Trombley. I believe they're both able to enter because I think they're both listed as graduates. Probably just looking for more playing time there. And as well as a lot of Mercyhurst players. Will Schumacher just announced today going to Lindenwood. So obviously if your program's getting cut, you can enter early, obviously. Someone tweeted out today, rumor JJ Webush going to the portal apparently whenever it opens. That's a big one. Penn State, like you mentioned, Ryan, they are going to be in rough shape next year. Obviously, everyone expects Gavin McKenna to sign. A couple players graduate, and they have DeMarsico, Serrato, Fink, and goalie Kevin Riedler.
I think he was being sarcastic there. I don't think he's really feeling that bad for the.
I don't either.
For the Nits.
No, not feeling bad, but
the Detroit Red Wings
doing the old Jerry Seinfeld. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, but the roster pretty gutted as of right now for them. So kind of looking in rough shape there. Other signings, Hampton and Grant Slukinski both signed with the LA organization along with Western Michigan's Owen Michaels also departs early.
Of note, Hampton got a 3-year contract. Grant got a 1-year contract. So Grant's basically on a tryout there, but good for them. Two brothers, both going out west.
Yeah. A little bit better at the forward position than the goalie position over there in the Kings.
Yeah. Goalies are a little more valuable as far as depth
I have this
go.
to say about the Slukinski brothers. They will be 38 and 41 years old when they officially retire from professional hockey. They will play out the string. They just love the game. I don't mean that.
And we've said this before.
Hockey.
I don't know that I've ever met a nicer person in my life than Grant Slukinski. Just an absolute
There's no
gem of a
that.
human being.
Yeah.
And then, his brother, Hammer, I mean, good for them. Both were committed to Northern Michigan at one point. Grant played there 1 year. They wound up down the state, let's say, at national championship rings, and good for them. Great family.
Yeah.
So a couple losses there for Western because Michaels was a good player as well. I believe he signed with the Edmonton org. Big 6'6" defender Viking Gustafsson Nyberg signs with the Wild after his junior season at UConn. So he leaves. Minnesotan, kind of. Colin Ralph signs with the St. Louis Blues organization.
What do you mean he's kind of? Like, how are you kind of
from
Missouri
for like 2 or 3 years?
Oh, no, he's Maple Grove.
He played high school hockey for like Kirkland, Missouri or something.
Wow. I just feel a little hate.
I'm still claiming Damon Gardner, despite the fact that Tony doesn't. So.
Yeah, so I mean, he's a Minnesotan.
He's listed from Ontario. I think he's listed as Ontario.
I distinctly remember on a podcast you saying it would be a shame if he won Mr. Hockey. I'm just throwing that out there. Not that I'm bitter and carrying this around with me 3 years later, but
no. Colin Ralph signs after his sophomore season. He's a second-round pick, so not all that surprising that they'd want him to join the org. But that's not many people signing after sophomore seasons there. So he signs. So does Maxim Sturbach of Michigan State after his junior year. And star freshman Porter Martone also signs.
Scored his first NHL goal yesterday, by the way, Porter Martone, in overtime. Good for him.
Sad to see him leave.
Maxim Sturbach.
Couple big names.
Maxim Sturbach, by the way, this is going to date Tony and I. Do you remember Herbeck?
Yeah.
Ken Herbeck. Yep. Last name spelled very similarly. Similarly, Twins were playing, I think, the Cardinals in '87 World Series. There was a great sign ripping Kent Herbeck because everybody loved to hate Kent Herbeck. It's a Herbeck by a vowel.
I like that.
Always think of that when I think see Maxim Sturbach.
There's a lot of those. There's a kid from Waseca. It's like Cirque. It's like SRC or something. SRP. Cirque.
Yeah, no vowels in it.
Yeah, no vowels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a prominent family in Waseca, by the way. His dad, his uncle was the mayor, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess, sorry, Colin Ralph. He played 1 year at Kirkwood, Missouri. I don't know where that is.
I think he was playing Car Shield for those guys.
And Car Shield as well. So I'm not sure what Kirkwood is, but mostly in Minnesota.
Kirkwood, I believe, is a suburb of St. Louis.
St. Louis, yep.
Okay, gotcha.
He's from Maple Grove. He's from Maple Grove. The bitter queen. You're the Portal Queen and the bitter queen.
The bitter queen.
There's a Sydney Wolf purity test that you have to.
Yeah,
you have to pass.
Yeah.
Roger McQueen one and done at Providence. That's not that surprising either.
Well, I think it's worth mentioning because we always talk about the CHL effect, right? I think it's a good way to insert this. What did Roger McQueen and Gavin McKenna add to college hockey?
Yeah.
Do we like it or we don't like it?
If you're a first top,
I'll take a year of it.
I think,
kind of the same with anybody who's signing after their freshman or sophomore season. Those teams are going to want
Tony,
you.
let's since we're on this question, let's wind the clock back 5 years. If I were going to say to you, it's this really good kid out of Pittsburgh. It's going to come be a Gopher, but only for 1 year.
Take it.
Would you have taken it?
Take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think you'd take a year with Logan Cooley.
Yeah,
if it's only
absolutely.
1 year.
Yeah, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Good for
So
the game.
Porter Martone one and done. Roger McQueen one and done. A one and done that I was not expecting. St. Thomas defender Hayes Hundley signs with Toronto AHL after his freshman season. Not a Minnesotan though, so not a familiar name for most. But
the
I was
look on Ryan's face is priceless.
Okay.
He's like,
kind of odd.
what?
I
Who?
went to like a dozen St. Thomas games this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a pro.
Broughton Sabo signs after his junior year at Ohio State with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins org.
That's where Aaron Hughlin had a hat trick this weekend.
Nice. And Riley Thompson of
Good for
Ohio
Hughie.
State
Good
signs
kid.
after his junior season. Riley Thompson, I just wanted to do a notable, not a Minnesotan, but looking at his elite prospects page, he played at junior hockey all in the CCHL and then went to Alaska Fairbanks, then went to Ohio State, and now is going to be headed to like the AHL. That's like a crazy path there too.
Yeah.
So kind of cool. Cornell loses a couple players. Jonathan Castagna. I don't know how to say
I
it.
believe.
Castagna signs after his junior season. He was their leading scorer, so that's a big one, along with defender Hoyt Stanley. UMD goaltender Adam Guyon signs after his sophomore year.
That's a big loss.
That's a big loss. Yeah,
That's a big one.
Goalies
Josh
are at a
Nadeau.
premium right now.
Yeah. for sure. Josh Nadeau signs after his junior at Maine, and
I wonder if
normally
Nathan Airy likes playing in the state of Minnesota. I'm just gonna,
I would not. No.
I like Nathan Airy. He did. It
So
didn't
do I,
work
but
out.
I don't think he's
Didn't work out for him
bulldog.
at the U, but no, you're probably right.
And notably, I don't know if any of you have inside info. It sounds like Cruz Lucius has said he's not going to sign with Pittsburgh.
Really?
That's what I was hearing online. It sounds like there was kind of some bitterness between the two
Interesting.
parties. I'm not,
Shocking.
I'm
shocked to
know.
hear that.
I assume he's signing somewhere.
Committed to the
so wait.
Gophers. Committed to the Gophers at 13. Didn't quite make it.
Okay, wait.
I
Let's
hate
back
that.
up
I
on
hate
Cruz
that.
Lucius. So he was drafted in 2022 by Pittsburgh, correct?
I think he'd be a free agent this summer.
Yeah, he would go free agent and be the Sammy Walker, Tampa Bay Lightning free agent thing. So he's going to go. So he's saying he's not going to sign with Pittsburgh.
Mike Riley, another
Yep,
example
Yeah,
of that.
exactly.
Didn't sign with Columbus.
He's going to extend past, right? So he'll August 1st, he can sign with any team he wants.
It says somebody tweeted, this is from the account Penn's NHL Fan. It says,
Oh, I love
according
this.
to Dubas on the GM show, Cruz will not be signing with Pittsburgh for reasons that are up to him to share. States he is passing up a chance to develop when his team didn't qualify for anything. He also states that the team is not a spot that needs begging for people to come.
Wow, Kyle Dubas.
Yeah, a little.
So basically, what that account is saying is, ASU season gets over in February, right, or maybe early March, and they said, "Come on, let's go. Why don't you come get better? Why don't you play pro hockey with
come
us for the
to
next
Wilkes-Barre
3
Scranton.
months?"
Yep.
And he went, "Nah, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm gonna just take the next 5 months off and then sign with."
Well,
It would be.
I think he's probably put on a pair of skates since then.
Maybe. Who knows? But he's
Competitive
not
hockey.
gonna competitive hockey. He's not gonna play any
You're
games.
familiar with Gentry Academy? That's a
I'm well aware of it. Yes.
Okay.
My point is, he's going
know
to.
who founded
he's
Gentry
opting
Academy?
out. He's opting out of that organization. He's gambling that he can. He's betting on himself. So that a team of the other 31 will take him.
Can I say this too? Since you mentioned Sammy Walker, here's a rule change I would propose. You said August 1st, free to
I
sign
think
with
it's something like that.
With Sammy Walker, the Tampa Bay Lightning made it very clear, as soon as he was done, we're not going to sign him.
Yep.
We don't have interest in it. At that point,
Can't he just sign with somebody?
why
else?
should a player have to wait
till
3 more
August?
months? You know,
I agree.
If the team that drafted you says we're not going to sign you, that's fine. Doesn't work out a lot of times. You know, you take 7 guys in the draft every year. You're going to sign maybe 3 or 4 of them. It's okay. It's no insult. But why do you make them wait 3 months?
I don't know.
Why can you not just say, you know what, we're
good.
Or not even why can't it 2 years ago? Hey, we brought him to development camp. Doesn't look like he's going to fit with our system. We're going to cut him loose.
Isaac Howard.
No. That's different. Isaac Howard was still way within the 4-year expiration.
Or he wanted to sign. They had a disagreement about if he was ready or not.
They wanted him to play in the AHL at Syracuse.
Well, yeah,
and
look
he
how
was like,
look
no.
how loaded.
Right.
You want to talk about loaded
Forwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have room for him.
Jason Shogby is a
percolate.
Tampa Bay Lightning prospect.
Yeah, he's gonna have to wait too.
Going
Yep, so-
back, I wanted to maybe pull back. There is a better chance of Grant Lukinski playing. I looked up the forwards for the LA Kings. There's 1, 2, 3. There is 4 two-way contracts currently in the lineup right now for the
Okay.
LA Kings. So
he's got
Yeah,
a shot.
Jared Wright got called up, and he's been with them now
I'm sorry,
since
who-
he got
Who got
up,
called
I
up?
think. Jared Wright from
Jared
Oh,
Wright.
yeah.
STA.
Apple Valley,
Yep.
STA
Yeah.
slash.
He got called up, and he's
Denver.
played like 15 games now, I
yeah,
think.
he's third line right wing.
That's a team that's fighting for its life too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
For the
with
playoffs.
Yeah.
Fiala breaking his leg in the Olympics, it's
Yeah.
that's a big hurt.
Former
and then-
Gopher, since we're talking about this, teams fighting for their lives. Best quote to come out of yesterday's game with the Red Wings, Brock Faber. You talked about that, the Red Wings making that huge comeback. He says, yeah, they came at us in the third like their life depends on it, which it does.
It really does.
It's like, yeah, it's a great.
That was a
quote.
tough loss for them. They
Well,
could
and
they could have used the point.
They got booed off the ice at the end of the second period because they had like 8 shots.
yeah,
through
and then,
40
and then
minutes
they booed the refs off the ice.
Yeah.
for a good call.
for a good call. And
Yeah.
and hey, Red Wings fans, you got lucky because there was a clear delay of game that you didn't get called for.
Yep.
And then,
I
you
agree.
know, multi-Stanley
Hockey
Cup.
What was the excuse on that? By
Hockey
the way?
gods.
Don't know.
Just-
Because they didn't call it on the ice.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then they reviewed it and saw that it was, but you can't go back and say, oh, wait, that was a penalty. If you call it on the ice, you can review it and then say it wasn't a penalty.
Even if it's a black and white,
Yeah.
I suppose it falls under the rules of determining what's a
So,
penalty or not.
you know.
You know, it would be a penalty is if we didn't talk about APX hockey. Sydney,
Let's
you
talk
want to
about
chat a
APX
little about
hockey.
that?
Sure. Well, shout out obviously Broughton Sabo. I heard he's been with us over 10 years, so cool
yeah.
to see him sign his pro deal. And like I just said, Jared Wright, longtime guy as well. So cool to see them doing super well. And yeah, we got a bunch of cool stuff. I'm writing a story today about one of our advising guys who just won a cup with the Granite City Lumberjacks. So there's a Minnesota team.
Which one was that? Was that Ty Smith?
Nathan Mock, the goalie
Yeah, great
from
kid.
Chan, but played AAA. So he didn't
Yeah.
play high school hockey, but just won a title with them. They had a ton of Chaska Chan guys actually on that team. And the portals are up, so go check those out if you want to look at those. And I got some other features as well coming out over the next few weeks here, so go check those out. Super cool. And we have a lot of guys signing tenders and stuff right now too, so excited for a lot of our high school guys that are making plans for next year.
Quick thing, talking about Broughton Sabo and who's the other one you mentioned just a second ago?
Jared Wright and
Yeah, Jared Wright. Those talk about one of the pillars at APX is character. They definitely put on a huge emphasis on having high character kids. Well, you just named two of the highest character kids out there, Broughton Sabo and
For
Jared
sure.
Wright. So
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, apx-hockey.com. If you need an awesome advisor, some awesome training and development, we got you, or the news and databases tab, I got you covered. Go check it out. And then just a couple more quick things, and then we'll make some predictions. I got to get going here in a few minutes.
Yeah.
So college hockey returners for next year. Jack Musa, leading scorer for UMass, is going to be returning. That's a big one. Ethan
that's
Wittenbach
huge.
coming back for Quinnipiac. That's huge.
Rand
as well.
Pecknold is a much smarter coach with Ethan Wittenbach
Yes.
on his team.
Ethan Wittenbach.
And that's not a rip on Rand Pecknold. That's just that's the
Yeah,
the
they'll be
joke is
good.
I'm a lot smarter when I have guys who can
They
score
lost
tons of
Pelosi though, didn't they?
I think he's coming back too, actually.
Oh, he is. Okay. Oh, they'll be
I
good.
think so. I think I saw a graphic that said coming back or something.
All right.
So that's cool. A couple of coaching notes. Director of Hockey Ops video coach Mark Abney of Lindenwood moving to Maryville. And Brown is looking to add a second assistant, so some jobs opening up. Like we already said, don't need to talk about it. Anthony Noreen signed a big extension that goes through 2031-32. Obviously done a lot of great stuff already for the Redhawks. And then Frozen 4 bracket, it is going to be Wisconsin playing North Dakota, the early game in Vegas, 4 p.m. Central Time. Games on
Which
ESPN2.
of course means 2 p.m. Vegas time. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Anyway.
Weird. Denver versus Michigan at 7:30 Central on ESPN2 as well. Going to be a lot of beer sold in that early game. Final game is 4:30 p.m. Central Time on Saturday. And somebody pointed out on Twitter that it's the 4 teams with the most championship titles in the Frozen Four. So whoever wins, it's not going to be a year with a new champion. So
No. Oh,
four
so
very blue blood programs in the
Wisconsin
in
and North Dakota both have
What-
6, don't they?
What year were you born, Sydney?
99.
99.
So you have never been alive for a Michigan championship. That's crazy.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So not recently, but
90
obviously
98 was their last one.
nobody in this tournament is obviously a newcomer to college hockey. And
I'll just say this too. I hope it works in Vegas. I hope it's a good.
It will.
Because
Why wouldn't it?
like the first time it went to Tampa, 2012, everybody's like, "Why would you go to Tampa?" And my answer was always, "Why the hell not?"
Why
You know,
not?
It's and to Tampa's credit, it is a bang up place to have.
well, didn't North Dakota show up like crazy to that Vegas game? What was that, 2 years ago?
Yep.
Yeah,
I've got a
that's-
fun final question for the pod. Over under 25 Nodak jerseys in the drunk tank this weekend.
Oh boy.
Drunk, like thrown in jail?
And
No,
if,
like the drunk tank, like public intoxication.
and,
Oh.
if you allow yourself to get
25?
Over under, yeah.
And if
I
you
don't
allow
know.
yourself
Over.
50?
Over.
100?
I saw The Hangover. If you allow yourself
Way
to get
over.
tased, did they let you out of jail? Then?
Yeah, for the kids.
Yeah.
I'm standing strong by my pick of North Dakota. I don't know. Do you guys have any
I
hot
am
takes?
not going against that either.
I'm taking
I'm
Michigan.
I'm
I think
taking note
Michigan
of
as
it.
well too.
I think they're overdue, and they're an absolute wagon of a team, and they've got
Michigan.
goaltending.
I
Michigan,
did.
Hey, they gotta play David
And if
Carl.
you can just tackle guys in front of the net, well, that's a big help.
Well, if it's North Dakota Denver, that's a big rivalry game too. If
Yeah.
that's what ends up
It's
happening,
heavy hitters.
No,
That's a
I
big-
think the Big Ten drought ends this year.
You remember those text
And the
strings I
Michigan
was
drought
telling you
ends this
about?
year.
The admin for the NCHC, I just don't want. I just don't need to see it.
you don't want them to say
where he goes
them-
in and changes, or he or she goes in and changes to like 19.
I will say, and it's been a few
It's
years
a
now, but
little
I've been to the
old. It's a
NCHC
little old.
offices out in Colorado Springs, and they've added a few since then, but it's pretty impressive when they have that wall.
I'm literally the only team, like from a fan, like a local fan who wears this maroon and gold thing on his chest every once in a while. The only one I can really wrap my head around is Denver, because it's like they're not really a rival of the home team, where North Dakota rival, right? Michigan
I love the
rival.
I love
Wisconsin,
the conference rivalries. though.
rival. Like those are harder pills to swallow. Where the Denver
I think
one
I
isn't as
saw
hard to
an article
swallow.
for saying, who do we want to win because they're all pretty bad for
Right.
Gopher fans.
I think
Yeah,
me personally, I think Wisconsin's worst case scenario,
that's the worst case scenario.
especially because they're
Oh.
the
Then
worst
North
out of the
Dakota.
four.
No, not at all.
Then North Dakota, then Michigan,
Hey.
then Denver.
If you can't love Mike Hastings, there's a
I
problem.
love Hastings.
Oh,
it's,
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's my wife's
Todd
entire
Knopf,
family who knows
Nick
nothing
Oliver,
about hockey.
Nate
are
Lapointe,
gonna
their equipment
all of
guy,
a sudden
married a Warroad girl. I mean, they're as much as you hate Wisconsin being a Minnesotan, they're such a lovable bunch of guys. They
Jess,
really are.
My wife's entire family's from Madison, Wisconsin.
I got
And they know
family in
nothing
Madison.
about
I got
hockey.
family in Milwaukee.
And I hope you're listening. You know nothing about hockey.
I got an uncle in
Catalinos,
Oconomowoc.
But all of a sudden, they're going to become
The Sioux
hockey
is
experts
close.
this weekend.
The Sioux is very close. Or, excuse me, the Hawks. I'm looking right at the Sioux jersey.
By the way, speaking of that, attempting to be the first school to win the men's and women's Frozen Four in the same year
That's
since
why it would suck.
Gophers.
Wisconsin
Oh,
in 2006.
six.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gophers didn't do it.
I don't think they've ever done it.
No,
No.
it would have been
Because
2003.
02 and 03, that's back when UMD was kind of the powerhouse.
They were.
There really isn't a good answer. I mean, the last thing Michigan needs right now is another win as a school.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm rooting for Michigan.
No, you're picking them.
Me too.
I'm picking Michigan.
Me too.
I think the Big Ten thing is overblown because, I do think it has become one of the strongest conferences in college hockey, even though it hasn't won
don't
2 games
win
in April.
titles.
I think
Nope.
I,
They haven't
I
won
do think-
titles.
actually, I will change. I think North Dakota would hurt the most.
Yeah,
the
like
last
every
year
tournament, there's like a
compared to this
plucky
year.
underdog that you kind of root for, and there's just not.
There's
this
not
year.
one this
Yeah.
year.
No, there's not.
Yeah.
What are the titles? You should know. We should all know this off the top of our head. So, I think North Dakota's at how many are they?
8.
8. Wisconsin's at 6, right?
Wisconsin's at 6.
Yeah. Denver's at 40.
Denver's at
what's Michigan
Denver's actually won 37 titles.
I think they
no, they've won 10.
10.
Michigan's won 9
9.
because
Yeah. Oh,
because
God, there's so many bad things.
Denver getting
on
Denver getting the 10th title.
Nothing good is going to happen on Saturday at 4:30. I'm just convinced of it. Nothing good is going to happen. This is Tony Fan talking.
I'm saying it right now. It's
Nothing good.
I'm saying it's Michigan's year.
Well, I'm saying I'm going to stick with North Dakota since I've picked them since like January. So I got to look smart.
Okay.
But if Wisconsin wins it, I will be happy as hell for Mike Hastings because
Yes.
That would
we
be
were there in
huge,
Boston when they
oh,
had it in their grasp.
Obviously,
and it
Wisconsin
was
is not
torn
an
away.
underdog, but with the roster they have this year and the results they had this year, they're kind of the underdog.
I saw Wisconsin play the Gophers in February,
brutal.
and they looked terrible.
Brutal.
Yeah.
We were both there.
They gave up.
Yeah,
They
I was there.
just while we were talking today, the Gophers scored 3 more goals on them.
That was the Zemer between the legs.
Yeah.
Hensel-
Yeah, that's
and,
right.
And I'll say that we talked about it on the podcast at that time. They had Ben Dexheimer and nothing else.
Yep.
He ran their entire offense, and once they got over the blue line, they had nothing to,
Logan
no
Hensler
idea what
broke
to
his
do.
Foot. We thought they were dead in the water.
Yeah, I thought that team was absolutely done.
Oh,
and
their
you know,
goaltending
usually
was not good.
knowing guys on every staff, usually I'll go down and just say hi to the coaches after a game. I wanted nothing to do
No.
with anywhere near that Wisconsin locker room after that game.
No. Okay, so you got Mish, right?
I've got Michigan.
And Ryan?
Michigan.
Ugh, God. I'm going Denver. Again, that's the least.
And in fact,
The only downside
I'm-
for Denver, in my perspective, is the stupid NCHC admin guy. That's the only thing I got.
I'm calling a semifinal upset too. I'm saying we have an all Big Ten final.
Oh,
No way.
I'm going to be the one guy in America that picks Wisconsin to beat North Dakota.
Wow, that's bold.
wow.
I don't. See if I can find the betting.
And
line.
Michigan's going to be Wisconsin?
Side note, my paychecks don't come from Fargo anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, well.
Again, there's
any
a
other-
lot of bad scenarios.
Actually, you know where my paychecks come from? Denver.
Really?
That's where our company's media news group, which owns the
Really?
Pioneer Press, is
I did not
located in
know that.
Denver.
Well, any other news and notes, you guys? I got to pick on my
got
kid.
nothing.
Anybody want to guess the money line odds for?
Let's
that
hear money
first-
line.
for that first game.
UND versus.
I don't think they're allowed to wager on this in Las Vegas, are they? I'm kidding.
Oh, I was like, what?
No,
Thank you, Sydney. Go get your child.
Okay.
North Dakota is
Bye, everybody.
about a 2-1.
We might keep talking, but you've done great
You
work.
got to go. Let's hear money line. Let's clear it out.
They're
after
about
this.
they're about a minus 196, so about 2-1, about 66% roughly, just under 60%.
Who's got that?
That's from FanDuel. That's
I know. For who? Which team?
North Dakota to beat Wisconsin. Straight
Okay.
up. Straight
And then
up.
Denver versus Mich.
Yep. Denver.
Who you got there?
I'd say it's Michigan. No, Denver.
Do you like Vegas? You and I have had a beer in Vegas before.
Yeah.
Michigan
It's not-
is minus
I don't
1.
run there.
Let's do a travel tip. Where's your favorite place to go in Vegas? Where would you tell people to
Oh,
go?
I would go for like a casino. Like what?
Like just
I like going downtown to the old school.
oh, you like
ones.
Fremont Street?
I love
the
Fremont
old,
Street.
the old classic, the
I
Golden
love
Nugget
it.
and
I love it.
Binions and
I love it.
the old classic Vegas.
I don't like the new stuff.
Okay.
Or our teams, my team Minnesota girls teams, we stay at Red Rocks.
I was just going to say Red Rocks. Good.
I'll tell people this, and goodness knows if it's. I hope you've got your reservations already.
Yeah.
The place I generally stay when I'm out there is New York, New York.
It's a good one.
It's half a block from the arena.
Yep.
And there's like a pedestrian area where you can walk, so you're not on the street even. It's the one drawback to New York, New York, maybe the worst sports book in town.
Really?
That's why-
It's small.
It's got a sports book that's roughly the size of the room we're in right now.
What was the place we stayed at in Vegas? What was that hotel?
You and I were at Mandalay Bay. I
Mandalay
think,
Bay.
is-
That's it.
Yep.
That sports book
And-
was big.
And if
Couldn't
you
get a beer there, but
if you love a good sports book, I'll give you a little hidden tip. Go to the Westgate.
Westgate.
This is coming from my friend Kevin Gorg, who plays the horses a little bit. He knows
Yes, just a little
his
bit.
sports betting. He tipped me off on the Westgate last year. I met him there with a bunch of wild folks who were out there for the
Yep.
playoffs. He actually advised me to make my first ever NBA bet, and I won. So
Really?
thank you, Kevin. The $38 that I immediately lost on a blackjack table, I enjoyed for about 10 minutes.
That's good.
But the Westgate. Now, for people who don't know, if you've seen the Elvis movie,
Yes.
the Westgate was the International, and it was where
They
Vegas.
changed the name.
It was where Elvis did his residency in Vegas, and there's a big statue of Elvis Presley out front. It's now called the Westgate, but it's got a fantastic sports book, tons of seating, huge screen
seating is
TVs.
the key.
Yeah, huge screen TVs. Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about New York. New York, it's just this tiny little sports book. But it's got great food there, and it's got a fantastic pool, and it's right by the rink. So that's my place in
My
Vegas.
experience when we stayed at the Mandalay Bay was the sports book was great. There was plenty of gambling, plenty of places to seat, but the bar was smaller than this room. I mean, there was nowhere to get a beer. I was like, well, what's the point of the sports book if you can't enjoy a
For first timers
beverage.
too. For first timers, here's a little trick: don't buy a beer at the bar,
Okay.
because any place you go in Vegas has an open liquor license.
Yep.
So across the street from the bar, from the casino, is a 7-Eleven or a
Right.
ABC stores, which has a huge rack of cold beer for like $4. You buy a 24-ouncer, you put it in a can koozie, and you can walk into any bar with it.
Correct.
So that's my money saving
I like
tip
that. I never thought of that.
for Vegas is go buy your beer off site
And bring it in.
and bring it in, and nobody even looks
They don't
askance
give you a
at
hard time
They
about
don't.
that?
They
I
don't.
just figured they would shackle me down and take it from me.
No, it's very different than and what's great too. I always love this. Colorado, basically everything's legal there. Especially if you're into
Yes.
herbal substances.
Yep.
Vegas, Nevada, literally everything's legal there, up to and including
Yeah.
prostitution
Yes.
and anything else you want to do. And in between those two states, what do you got?
Utah.
Try and buy a
Nothing.
beer in Utah.
Nothing. Can't do anything. I go every year.
I love the Western U.S. Just how it's.
I
so,
like it. I spend time in Park City for a girls tournament. I like it. I like
Utah's
it.
beautiful.
Problem is that everything is closed at 8:30.
Utah is stunningly beautiful.
Yeah, it's awesome.
For folks
It is
for folks who haven't been there, because they've got an NHL team now.
Yeah.
The way it works in Utah is you can order a beer, but you have to order food with your beer. You can't just go in and say, I want a beer, and they say, okay, what would you like to eat with it?
Nope, you got to eat.
That's the way the law works. The workaround they have, and I love this, a lot of bars now in Utah will have a $1 appetizer menu.
I like that.
So you order a beer, and then you say, I'll take the carrot sticks. And it's basically like a $1 surcharge on your beer, and they bring you a plate with, one chopped up carrot.
Here's your
on it.
carrot.
Here you go. Here's your carrot sticks, sir. And by the end of the night, you've got enough to start your own Cabbage Patch or
Probably
whatever
could.
it is. But
Probably good.
Silly Joseph.
Well, it should be a fun weekend of college hockey. Some,
There's a lot going on.
Heavyweight.
I'll say this too, a little bittersweet. You know why? This is the last weekend of college hockey.
Yeah.
Frozen Four is the pinnacle, but then I always think, when I get to the Frozen Four all those years, it's like there's only 3 games left, and then it's done.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
sad.
it.
It's tough.
And a Hobie Baker winner. You've already said it's going to be.
Oh,
Max
well, we've
Payne.
already awarded it to the guy from the Hobie Baker School.
Do you think he'd share it with his dad?
I think you should.
I think
For
he
folks
should,
who
too.
don't know, quickly,
Is that the Ryan Miller year?
no, Paul Correa.
Paul Correa. Well, yeah. Well, that's not.
The 3, and they didn't do the 3 finals
No,
at
they
the time,
didn't.
but the 3 contenders for the Hobie in 1993: Derek Plant, MVP of the WCHA; Greg Johnson at North
Yeah,
Dakota.
oh, man.
God rest his soul.
R.I.P.
Hell of a player and a hell of a person. And let's just say
Good one.
take mental health seriously, folks, because we lost him, and that's hard to fathom because he was such a great player and a great person. And then Paul Correa, who was a freshman at Maine,
A deserved winner, I think.
lighting it up. And the controversy at the time was, should you win it as a freshman? Now, Sean Walsh, another one, God rest his soul, longtime coach at Maine, whenever he was asked that question, he would say, there's nothing in the Hobie rules that says a freshman can't win it. And if he wasn't a freshman, this would not even be a conversation because he had just an unbelievable
He was
year.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
39 games, 100 points.
Yeah.
25
Is that good? That's
25
good. Huh?
That's
goals,
good, isn't it?
75 assists.
I think that's good.
So Derek Plant, who had built up to, he was a senior. He'd built up to that year.
Who lost to Ryan Miller? Someone else prominent that we know.
Jeez, I'm trying to think who was up there.
That
was in Albany. It was in 2001. Yeah.
Oh, was it? No, it wasn't Vanek. It wasn't Vanek. But it
Vanek-
was someone that I feel like I know.
Vanek was 03. And now it seems like a freshman wins it all the time. So I mean, that-
Well, yeah, I know.
And Ryan Miller's interesting because how many goalies have won it? I think 3.
Not many.
Stauber,
Stauber won it.
Ryan Miller, Dryden McKay.
Yep. Oh,
Those might be the only goalies to win it.
Those are the only ones I can think of.
Dryden McKay, by the way, deserving Hobie winner. Still love the fact that he didn't win the Richter.
Win the Richter.
Wasn't the best
Here-
goalie in the country, but he was the best player in the country.
Here's the 2001 finalists: Brian Giunta, Jeff Panzer,
That's it, Panzer.
Eric Anderson, Ty Conklin, Jeff Hamilton, Danny Heatley, Andy Hilbert,
Eddie Hilbert from Michigan.
Yep,
Underrated player.
Kent Huskins, and Jordan Leopold.
Yeah, I think Jeff Panzer was
Can I
the
just
best player in college.
since
hockey
since
that
we're
year.
still talking, I'm just going to throw this out there. You threw out a couple of names in 2001 that I don't remember and nobody ever heard of again.
But you remember Jeff Panzer?
I remember Jeff Panzer. I remember Brian Giunta.
Very good.
Um,
both.
I'm just going to throw this out there. Atlantic Hockey, ECAC. It seems like there's an effort to make sure we have a top 10 Hobie finalist from every conference.
You think so?
I don't think that is necessary in some cases. I'm
Did we have an Atlantic one this year?
I'm sure we do.
Was it the kid from Sacred Heart? Did he make the top 10?
Probably. And I couldn't name him.
Cool name.
And
I remember he had a cool name, too.
And that's kind of my point.
Yeah.
You know what? If you have 4 guys from one team,
Bring it on.
bring it on. Now, I will say this, and you know the story. Derek Plant doesn't win the Hobie in 93.
Yep.
I think best player in the country.
Oh, then the next year, the kid from Rapids won it, didn't he?
The next year, Derek Plant's understudy,
Yeah.
Chris Marinucci,
Yeah, Manucci.
from Grand Rapids, who had been a good college hockey player his first 2 years, and then he gets put on a line with Derek Plant, and he's suddenly a great college hockey player. Now, in Chris Marinucci's defense, he was the MVP of the WCHA that year.
Right.
Okay. So it's not like it's a total fluke. I mean, he was the best player in what was at that time the best conference in the country. Had a great year. He wins the Hobie that year. To this day, 40 whatever years into having the Hobie Baker Award, only player ever on a sub 500 team to win the trophy.
Really?
And again, great player, deserving of national honors.
Yeah.
There is a theory that there were 3 finalists from the University of Michigan that year.
And they canceled each other out.
And they canceled each other out. And people in the know, because there's always a conference call. They always get all of the voters together on a conference call, because I've been a Hobie voter 6 times. And this is an opportunity to say, okay, I haven't seen this guy. What makes him good? What makes him deserving? And it's also an opportunity because there was a player one year who had gotten into some legal trouble. Probably the best on-ice player that year, but he had gotten into some legal trouble.
You can't name him.
Yep. And this discussion was, what did he do? Does this disqualify him?
Right.
It's that kind of discussion. I was not in on the Hobie vote that year, but people who were told me Red Berenson, coach at Michigan, was on the call. And that's another thing. You have the coaches on and say, why does this guy deserve to win the trophy? And they talk about how they, not only lead the team in assists, but they also go read to blind nuns on weekends or whatever it happens to be. They said, okay.
Those blind nuns.
Yep.
So
Red, I'm paraphrasing the conversation, but you've got 3 players on the list.
Which one deserves it?
Which one deserves it? And Red spent 10 minutes talking about why each one of them deserved it.
Yeah, that didn't do him any good.
And if he would have said, they're all great, but this guy
Smith.
is the best player in the country, David Oliver, I think, was the one that people thought was probably the best player.
Yeah.
And to his credit as a coach, or maybe to his detriment as a coach, he wouldn't single out, this is the guy who deserves it.
It's hard, especially if there's press on the call. I mean, he could have got fried for that.
And part of that call is, it's nothing like you're going to quote a coach saying, in the call he said this. I mean, it's off-the-record comments, but it is background.
Yeah, it is.
And lo and behold, the trophy is announced, and Chris Marinucci is your Hobie winner.
Yeah, they definitely canceled each other out.
Yeah, that's the thought. Steve Shields, I think, was one of them. David Oliver, and one other. I can't remember. Yeah. A lot of good players.
A lot of good players.
Yep.
Well, that'll wrap it up for this week in college hockey. Jess Myers, no Sydney. She couldn't hang on.
Sydney
you
had to
left
go.
early the last sesh.
I had to leave early last time, yeah.
How come we don't get to leave early?
I'm not I don't have a young daughter, and I'm not an NHL reporter yet.
We will have our big Frozen Four recap.
We will recap and
coming up.
Maybe we'll have some coaches
and
at the University of Minnesota.
I'll have a rant about why the Hobie Baker is a travesty if
Max doesn't win it.
If Max doesn't win it.
And I'm guessing Max's speech, if he wins it, will be under 60 seconds. And I'm serious. I'm with it. It'll be under 60
He'll
seconds.
have a fresh number 2 buzz,
and I can tell you now, Christy Plant will be in the parent chair.
Oh, yeah. They always interview the parents. Christy will do the parent interview.
Christy Plant's in the parent chair. Guarantee it.
Roger Christian, Hockey Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Retired number in Warroad. When he was elected,
He was
Hockey
the
Hall of
quiet
Fame.
one.
Very quiet.
Yep.
Very shy person.
Yeah.
Unbelievable human being, but just very, very
I know where his house
soft-spoken and
is.
shy.
House was.
Yep. I was in Eveleth when he was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. His acceptance speech.
Ooh.
I recorded it and later timed it.
18 seconds.
28 seconds.
That sounds about right.
He said, I'm not one that likes to speak. I just want to thank everyone and thank the people of Warroad for always supporting me and thank you very much. Sat down.
It's over.
Good for him. And his number is forever hanging in the rafters at the Garden. So
now that we're just completely off the rails, I know his house is because it's on a famous Indian burial ground.
Yes,
in his yard.
He literally lived on an Indian burial ground, like the old joke. There are
little houses,
graves,
it's super cool.
Cool,
super cool
thing. The 3 keys to public speaking that they always say: be smart, be funny, be seated.
I like that. Well, we are seated for tonight. We'll see you. We'll get back in the seat again in a week. Thanks for tuning in to our show.